Consumers are seeking information about the products they buy and whether children help to produce those products. It is 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. That begins with Smilin' Mark McKay.
Getting a break just a tad out of Alpharetta into Roswell. Cheryl on 400 southbound. Still going to be slow, though. Leaving Haynesbridge Road, you'll ease up before you get to Holcomb Bridge Road. Much better down to I-285 past Northridge. 575 now just tap of the brakes southbound to Highway 92 out of Woodstock. Spotty slowing on I-75 between Marietta and Northwest Atlanta. And the brake lights battle still in place on I-85 out of Duluth into Norcross. Worst of that's going to be from Highway 316 trying to get past Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. Plenty of brake lights left on 285, Ashley Frasca.
Certainly, yeah. Crash cleared on 285 south past South Cobb Drive, but that doesn't help the northbound ride. It's sluggish up from Hollowell Parkway on and off the brakes through Vinings and then eastbound over to New North Side, and still some crowds through Doraville, 285 west, getting past Peachtree Boulevard. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88 with an isolated pop-up storm. Friday, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms, high 86.
Kennesaw, 71 degrees right now. Douglasville, 70 degrees, 71 degrees in Norcross. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. We have a massive Wednesday edition of the Mark Arum Show to lay before you. We're going to go live to L.A., D.C., New York. We've got Dave Matthews tickets to give away. But we're going to start with the big local story, continuing our team coverage off of Atlanta's Morning News. The protest yesterday in Brookhaven. We had a feeling on the show yesterday we might see protests in the metro area. They came to fruition yesterday in my beloved Brookhaven. Joining us live, the mayor of the great city of Brookhaven, Mayor John Park, joins us live on the Mark Arum Show. Mayor, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, and thank you for calling us beloved.
I absolutely love, well, I'm a food guy, so there's many reasons why I love Brookhaven. Let's just talk about what happened yesterday from your vantage point. When did the protests start, and when did things get out of hand?
Well, I wouldn't say it really got out of hand. It started at around 6:30. Our community engagement officers were in touch with the leaders of the protests, and you know they have a right to express their views, and but you know while following the law. We asked them to disperse. We actually gave an order to disperse around 9 and 9:30, and the protest organizers advised our police that that they asked people to leave, and the people that kind of stayed behind were not affiliated with their protest. They were just opportunists, and agitators that I guess just wanted to make trouble.
Interesting. So there was actually communication with the protest organizers between them and the city beforehand. You gave them that window, the 3-hour-ish window to extend their First Amendment rights and protest. And then it was after that 9:30 ending of the sanctioned protest where we start to see some of the I don't want to say get out of hand. Maybe that was too far, but started to see some trouble.
Yeah, and this is a common ploy by some of these individuals. They want to make noise, they want to cause damage, they want to escalate the situation, and our police officers are very disciplined and well trained, as well as the neighboring jurisdictions that assisted, and we handled it. There were some arrests, some property damage. No one was really injured, and it was taken care of.
Mayor, for those that didn't follow this, I mean, it was the videos were popping up on social media, right at the start of the protests. I was following it there. Where in Brookhaven did this protest occur?
So basically, a block from our public safety building over at Briarwood and Buford Highway at Northeast Plaza, which is kind of the epicenter of our international corridor. Where there are a lot of great restaurants and great diversity and just a lot of energy in that area, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons they chose that location.
Is it typical I don't know how many organized protests you've had as your term of Brookhaven mayor, but is it typical? Is there a license? Do protesters have to get permission? What's the process for that?
Well, to basically go beyond just normal First Amendment rights, we'd like to just basically, set up, how do I say this, guardrails. So our communications, our community engagement officers were on scene, live there on scene, and just, in constant communication with the people there and the organizers, and basically said, hey, look, if you are, we absolutely support your right to be heard and protest, but at the same time, we can't have you, inciting violence or, blocking the road or just largely anything that's not orderly. And so that's kind of how we go.
And as part of those guardrails, don't block traffic, right? Don't get in stay on the sidewalks or stay on property that wouldn't be obstructive to motorists.
Right. And really just, hey, be heard, show your numbers, say what you want to say. We'll hear you. We'll support that. But, our number one priority in Brookhaven is public safety and keeping people safe and maintaining, a certain level, maintaining civilization, really. And so that's what we focus on.
Brookhaven Mayor John Park joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, updating the protests that occurred yesterday in Brookhaven. Do we expect more protests today, Mayor?
I don't know what to expect, but we'll be ready.
Have you been in contact with the organizers, the original organizers of the protest?
I have not been. Our community engagement officers have, and I'm fortunate to have an amazing community policing organization that we support that really engages the community. And this isn't, the violence was not a reflection on our community that's here in Brookhaven, and I'm proud of that.
Let's talk about the community of Brookhaven. Obviously, a very diverse community. I don't know if you have demographic breakdowns, but about the immigrant population or the Hispanic population, but just talk broadly about the diversity of Brookhaven.
So Brookhaven, we have about 58,000 residents. I would say, I forget the exact percentage, but about 16-18% are Latin American. I think about 10% African American. Just me and a few other Asian Americans. I think about 2%. The rest are white. Interesting.
And have you been in contact, or has ICE been in contact with you about any raids? Have there been any ICE raids in Brookhaven? And what has the scenario been in the last few months leading up to yesterday's protest? Have we seen immigration raids in Brookhaven?
I'm hearing about raids. We don't have official notification.
Okay.
Largely, I'm in regular touch with our police chief, and there has been, generally they let us know they're in the area just to let us know so that if something happens that we'll be on hand to support, but they haven't been doing that. And we're just trying to keep our community safe. We're engaging with everyone in our community and keeping the lines of communication open, and just trying to keep everyone, just trying to maintain a harmonious community here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful. I mean, for folks that haven't been, Brookhaven is a destination spot in Metro Atlanta, culturally, culinarily, for sure. You mentioned the open lines of communications. Have you been hearing from constituents worried about their deportation status or their immigration status? Is that something that a large number of residents of Brookhaven have communicated with you?
No, not much with me personally. I'm an immigrant myself. I became a citizen, when I was in college, when I was young. So I understand and I empathize with what they're going through right now. And there is, how do I say this? There is some worry, but by and large, people are going on with their lives and doing the best we can in the situation that we're in.
We've seen I've seen stories, coverage of the impact economically of restaurants, shops, businesses along Beaufort Highway. Folks that might not want to go out anymore for fear of being swept up. Economically, have you seen, and I know Beaufort Highway stretches well past Brookhaven, so it might not be a Brookhaven issue, but economically, how has Brookhaven been faring thus far?
I think it's definitely affected us, but I don't think it's a catastrophic situation by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But people are nervous and people are concerned, but people are also going about their daily lives. And I was fortunate and honored to go to the award ceremony for Cross Keys High School, the only high school in Brookhaven, and everyone was there and they were about their daily lives and celebrating their accomplishments and moving forward in life.
Brookhaven Mayor John Park joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Just to go back to what happened last night, you said there was some damage. I saw a video of the one police cruiser that I would assume suffered some damage. Outside of that, do we have any reports of damage you could pass along?
So I just drove over there just to take a quick look. Our public works is already on site. Just making sure that everything's cleaned up properly. There's some spray paint here and there, and just some debris. But by and large, I thought it looked pretty clean and looked pretty good. And we'll take care of the graffiti just like we do in any situation, and try to get us back to a certain level of normalcy as fast as we can.
No looting and no car set on fire. Nothing to that degree.
No. A couple of broken windows. We pride ourselves on restraint, but at the same time, enforcing the law. And 6 arrests were made, with varying degrees of charges, ranging from disorderly conduct, obstruction, aggravated assault, and some dangerous things. But we handled it, and we maintain public order and safety.
This might be a question better asked to the police department, but I'm going to ask you anyway in case you have an answer. Of those 6 people arrested, are they local, or maybe these were some of the outside agitators that perhaps infiltrated what was a peaceful protest?
I can't say definitively, one way or another, but what I'm hearing from what was conveyed to us by the leaders of the protest, what was conveyed by the officers on scene, it seems like the agitators were not Brookhaven residents. They were people that came from the outside to style disorder and to wreak mayhem, and we're not going to have any of that.
Final question for you, Mayor, and again, you said we don't know if we're going to see continuing protests today, but if the protests are going to take place again tonight in Brookhaven, your words of advice for those that plan on attending the protest, what to do and what not to do.
I would say keep the lines of communication open. Hey, if you're an organizer, engage with our police officers. We want to keep you safe. We also want to support your right to protest, but do it within the confines of the law, and let's help us, together maintain order. We're all better together in Brookhaven, along with our citizens, along with our partnering jurisdictions. And let's work together to really be a model for communication in the country, and not just, agitate or try to get a soundbite.
And patronize and shop at the various areas, restaurants, and yeah.
Well, I thought that was without saying. I moved to Brookhaven for that, so I'm, and you love it. And hey, look, it is a lively, vibrant environment, and a safe environment, and we want to keep it that way.
Indeed. All right. Brookhaven Mayor John Park. Mayor, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. Brookhaven Mayor John Park. There were some crazy videos there, Deborah. One that caught my attention was someone throwing fireworks at the Brookhaven police. I mean, that's a bridge too far. There's no, listen, First Amendment, protest, do what you got to do. The second it turns violent, and I'm sorry, if you throw firecrackers at me, that's violence. Stomping on that police car, that's it. You're breaking the law. 6 arrested yesterday. Going to reach out to the Brookhaven Police Department and see if we can get an update on those 6 people that were arrested. But Brookhaven Mayor John Park, you heard him there live. Not sure if that protest will continue tonight. Not been in contact with the original organizers. I would suspect, though, we will see more protests today. Hopefully they will be predominantly peaceful. No fireworks, no damages, no jumping on police cars, no graffiti. Just get out there, say your piece, and move along. And grab dinner while you're there. Really good dining options in Brookhaven. All right, good stuff there from Brookhaven Mayor John Park. Again, later in the show, we're going to go live to L.A. The protests continue there. Going to head up to the nation's capital. A little battle brewing between the governor of California and the president, and we could see a legal battle develop. We'll talk to White House correspondent, and we're going to go to New York City later and update the Diddy trial. I've been ignoring the Diddy trial purposefully, but one of the testimonies yesterday jumped off the page at me. So we're going to check in with a correspondent in New York City on the Diddy trial. But now, back locally, let's check the roads on this Wednesday morning. Any big hotspots, Mike Shields?
Well, good news in Marietta, Mark. A crash that was impacting lanes moved to the left shoulder. We're going to watch to see if they have to block a left lane at times. 75 southbound at Delk Road, exit 261. Of course, any flashing lights always enough to cause extra brake lights, and that's what we're seeing through Marietta as you leave Highway 5, Canton Road, exit 267, making your way 6 miles down the Delk Road. The support is brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits the Lane Up Motorsports Park July 10th through the 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
The integrity this company has is amazing. They are just unbelievable, start to finish.
Meteorologist Glenn Burns loves his Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows.
They made everything so easy. The planning, the installation was flawless. Just a perfect job, and now it just made such a difference in the house.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Attention job seekers, ready to take your career to the next level? Join us at the Yancey Bros Austell campus near Six Flags for an exciting hiring event Saturday, June 14th from 8 a.m. to noon. We are looking for skilled technicians and talented individuals for various roles. We have opportunities for everyone, including fantastic benefits starting on your first day, June 14th from 8 a.m. to noon. Take your first step towards a brighter future with Yancey Bros. Visit yancey-bros.com/hiring event for more details.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Aaron, you mentioned that taxes are on sale. What exactly does that mean? And is it something we need to take advantage of right now?
Yeah, Mark, it may not feel like it right now, especially this time of year, but when you look at history, we are actually in historically low income tax rates time. If you look back, tax rates have been significantly higher. And when you look at the national debt, which most reference at around $36 trillion, but when you consider the fact that with all the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, it's actually north of $100 trillion. When we look at factors like that, there's a pretty good chance that tax rates actually go significantly higher again. So yeah, you can make an argument that right now taxes are on sale.
So Aaron, what can we do right now to take advantage of these low tax rates?
If you don't have an income plan in your retirement conversations, then you actually don't have a tax plan. And that's important because if you don't have a plan for your money, guess who does? Uncle Sam's got one, and by default, you'll fall into that one. So we want to offer you a no-cost, no-obligation Tax Map. It's a deep dive into your retirement plan and specifically your tax strategy. From there, we'll make suggestions based on what's working or what opportunities could better fit your situation. The goal is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money while giving less to Uncle Sam. Call us at 770-280-1488. Again, that's 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we're available all across Metro Atlanta to meet you at a time and place that fits your schedule.
Taxes are not a seasonal conversation, and they're not going away once you retire. Take advantage of the complimentary tax map by calling the Vincent Financial Group today. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for my roofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Save on premium protein at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off no antibiotics ever boneless beef ribeye roast and steaks with Prime through June 17th. Throw it on the grill or roast it on the stove. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Sounds of the protests yesterday in Brookhaven. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. We shall see if they resume tonight. If I were a betting man, and I'm kind of a betting man, I would say that they will be back tonight. Protests erupted in Lower Manhattan yesterday as well. They turned violent. L.A. riots, protests continued for the 6th day. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we're going to go live to L.A. and get the latest there. I want to touch on this local story. Longoria, have you ever been approached by those the water boys? You stop at an intersection, they try to sell you water. There was a time they were getting really aggressive, and there was a pushback from the city, like, hey, let's do something with them. I always see them on 17th Street, like near Atlantic Station.
On Spring Street and 17th?
Yeah. That's the I know they've been around Lenox Road. Apparently, they're doing some bad stuff now, Deborah, as opposed to just, forcing you to buy bottles of water. What are they accused of doing, these water boys?
Yeah, well, this is at Georgia Tech. They reported a couple different crimes around that area near the campus where the water boys, they're not kids and they're not adults. They're that weird teenagers. And they're supposed to be, or they're trying to sell water along the streets, exits, things like that, which technically isn't legal in Atlanta. But they've been using that to commit other crimes. Like some people have been reporting being held at gunpoint, having money stolen, phones taken away. So what will happen is they kind of come in a group, like 3 or 4 of them will surround your car, and no one's going to try to plow through them, so they're kind of stuck there. And when they finally do roll down their window, you'll get them to kind of reach inside. They'll grab a purse. They'll grab your phone. One person said they even grabbed a phone where you were able to hold it in front of the victim's face lock and then get into their money apps and transfer money that way. So police say there is an uptick in crime, especially now that the school's out and these kids might not have some things to do.
Yeah, I'm going to pull a Chevy Chase in Vacation. Roll them up. I'm sorry. Yeah. If you want to sell water, don't be aggressive. Just, get a lawn chair and a cooler and get on the side of the road safely out of the way, and then wait for someone. What we don't see anymore, and I don't even know if they had them here in Atlanta, but in New York, the window washer, the homeless dudes that would wash your window, and you got to
never see that.
Yeah, no, go away. We don't want it. George Costanza was one of those guys once. All right, interesting. Yeah, be careful of the water boys out on these mean streets. News, weather, and traffic in less than 3 minutes. When we come back, we're going to D.C. Battle brewing between the governor of California and the president of these United States. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
There's nothing like a warm weather day here in North Georgia. Restaurant patios are packed. There are so many festivals, and I love concerts under the stars. Hey, it's Smiler Mark McKay. Imagine doing all of that and building your credit. You can with the Chime Secured Credit Builder Visa credit card. You build credit with money you were already going to spend while avoiding interest. Better credit means lower rates on car and home loans and better terms to borrow money for life's unexpected expenses. The Chime Secured Credit Builder Visa has no annual fees, interest, or credit checks Amex, and you can use it everywhere Visa is accepted. Make everyday purchases count with Chime's secured Credit Builder Visa credit card. Get started today at Chime.com. Chime feels like progress.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Members FDIC. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Chime checking account required to apply. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Stop me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
This is Scott Slade, and see if this fits you. You've just gotten an exorbitant estimate for repairs on your beautiful European car, or you're ready to cut the tie with the dealer. You need to check out Wolf Pen European Auto Repair in Roswell. Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW, the certified technicians at Wolf Pen will have your European car or SUV running at top performance and safety without sky-high pricing. And to get to know you better for a limited time, mention you heard about Wolf Pen on the radio and get a free second opinion on repairs. Just search Wolf Pen in Roswell.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. Good morning. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, it's new this morning. President Trump says the U.S. has reached a trade deal with China.
Trump posted on social media the U.S. will get magnets and rare earth minerals from China. The U.S. will allow Chinese students to use its colleges and universities. Trump also announced tariffs on Chinese goods will be set at 55%, while China's tariffs on American products will be 10%.
Michael Wallace reports Trump says the deal is subject to final approval of himself and China's president. He also says the U.S. relationship with China is, quote, excellent. Meanwhile, the latest U.S. Consumer Price Index out this morning shows prices rose less than expected in May, indicating that Trump's tariffs so far have not had a significant impact on inflation.
So the big number is the annual rate that came in at 2.4%. That is a slight acceleration from 2.3% in April, but this was better than expected. Month over month, prices were up by just 0.1%.
CNN's Matt Egan reports economists had predicted an increase of 0.2%. Well, 6 people are arrested after protesters clashed with police overnight at an anti-immigration raid rally on Buford Highway. Brookhaven Police Lieutenant Jake Kissel tells WSB about one of the arrests.
Pretty early on, we had one individual that was not listening to officers' warnings. After multiple warnings were issued for him to not be in the roadway and leaving the sidewalk, that subject was taken into custody.
Kissel says 3 police cars are also smashed, but he says most of the protesters were peaceful. The demonstration follows days of violent protests in downtown Los Angeles, where curfews are now imposed from sunset to sunrise. Another name is thrown into the ring to challenge Georgia U.S. Representative Nikema Williams.
Former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill announcing he's running for Congress as a Democrat.
No, I'm not running for the 13th district. I'm running for the 5th district. Running for the 5th district.
During his podcast Tuesday evening, he explains it was a conversation behind bars that led him to this decision.
And what he said was the reason you were sent here is to see what happens so that you could go out and fight for us and be our voice.
Hill was released last spring after serving 18 months behind bars. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
A new initiative aims to get more Metro Atlanta churches to turn to the sun for power.
Dunwoody United Methodist Church is the latest congregation to install solar panels as a way to power their facilities. Jay Horton with Interfaith Power and Light tells me some 30 congregations are now using the renewable source thanks to their program.
Not only does solar help congregations reduce their carbon footprint, but it also decreases their utility costs and allows them to invest more funds back into mission and ministry priorities of their community.
Cost savings can vary. Dunwoody is estimated to save more than $14,000 each year. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Nintendo's new Switch 2 game console smashes a series of sales records after just 4 days on the market. The Japanese gaming company says the system has sold more than 3.5 million units, making it Nintendo's fastest-selling game system of all time. The company says it expects to sell 15 million units by March of next year. It's 9:30. 7:33. Time to check traffic and weather. We begin now with Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Cheryl, watching a crash working on the left shoulder right now in Marietta. I-75 southbound at Delk Road, exit 261. We're going to see at times that they block a left lane, but right now all on the left shoulder. Just several vehicles involved in flashing lights. Always call some extra brake lights. And delays on the south side perimeter. 25 eastbound. The outer loop slow as you approach Flat Shoals. Working your way up to I-20 East Freeway. Work being done off the roadway near the ramp that is causing enough to slow you down up from the through lanes leaving Flat Shoals. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, hot and humid, high 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88. Partly cloudy on Friday with a few pop-up showers and storms, high 86.
Right now, 71 degrees in Decatur. Smyrna, you're at 72. Another 72 degrees in Lawrenceville. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Thursday starting at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News. Overnight developments in the protest story from Metro Atlanta, from the White House, and around the country on 95.5 WSB.
Speaking of protests, they continue in L.A., Lower Manhattan, here in Metro Atlanta. Coming up next, we'll go to D.C. Reaction from the Trump administration. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
First impressions matter, especially in the summer. Wise Guys Pro Wash will make sure your home makes the right impression. Soft wash, safe results, and zero hassle. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your home, driveway, deck, or roof wash. Book at wiseguysprowash.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
At that point in time, tear gas was deployed, and ultimately 3 Brookhaven police cars were damaged by demonstrators that were kind of escalating the situation.
Yeah, escalation, 6 arrests. That is Lieutenant Jake Kissel, the Brookhaven Police Department. We reached out to the Brookhaven Police Department. Hopefully we'll talk to the lieutenant live here on the show in just a little bit. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, continuing our coverage of the protests. Joining us from the nation's capital, White House correspondent John Decker. John, we've been hyper-focused this morning thus far on the protests that broke out in Atlanta, but they all started out west in California, and we're seeing a battle of words between the governor of California and the president of the United States, and that battle might spread to the courtroom. What can you tell us?
Well, that's exactly right. Now, Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California. He did not invite the National Guard, nor did he activate the National Guard in his state to deal with the unrest on the streets of Los Angeles. In fact, he opposes the National Guard being activated in the manner that the president has done that. And so that's the reason why he has filed a lawsuit on behalf of the state of California against President Trump. He argues that the president has overstepped his authority in activating the National Guard, federalizing the National Guard. He believes that the president has essentially impinged upon the sovereign rights of the state of California. So that will now be argued in the federal courts.
What's the timeline on that? Is this going to be heard very soon?
Well, the timeline is such that a federal judge, once they are assigned this case, will likely listen to arguments being made by those representing the state of California, asking for essentially an injunction, a temporary restraining order to see to it that the National Guard is essentially de-escalated, is not activated in the manner that the president has done that. I find it almost impossible that a court will get involved in this. This is really what's known as a political question, and courts don't get involved in political questions. And I believe also that the President Trump, is on firm legal ground in terms of him taking the actions that he's taken thus far.
We heard from Governor Newsom gave a speech in the late night hours. Have we heard from President Trump or any of his spokespeople about what's been going on in L.A. the last 6 days?
Well, we know that the mayor of Los Angeles, although she too is not invited in the National Guard, she has instituted a curfew, and she has also given the warning with that curfew that anybody that violates that curfew will be arrested and jailed. So that is a message for those protesters. You may ask, Mark, who are the protesters? The president maintains that they are all paid protesters. I think that's painting things with a very broad brush. That is not the case. There are some individuals that are out there that are protesting, because they do not like the president's immigration policies. But having said that, these types of situations, Mark, always invite, by the nature of these protests, agitators, people that gravitate towards these situations. I guess I would call them anarchists. And they certainly are a part of these protests taking place in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and we think we saw them here in Metro Atlanta. White House correspondent John Decker. John, as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
So John, not only White House correspondent, but is a lawyer. He says President Trump, he thinks, has firm legal ground for sending in the National Guard and the Marines. And we've been saying, Deborah, that it's been 60 years since a president sent in the National Guard without approval from the governor. And I think it was 62 years ago, actually, because 62 years ago today, let's listen.
I stand here today as governor of this sovereign state and refuse to willingly submit to illegal usurpation of power by the central government.
So that was Governor George Wallace, governor of Alabama, 62 years ago today, faced with a court order to admit 2 black students to the University of Alabama. Wallace stood defiantly on university grounds, said he would not do it. Wallace relented later that day after President Kennedy federalized the Alabama National Guard and ordered the troops to ensure the students were admitted. So is that the last time? Was it Kennedy and not comedian George Wallace, but Alabama governor? Right. And you might remember that scene from Forrest Gump, right? Forrest Gump was always in the right place at the right time or wrong place, and he was there on that day 62 years ago. So maybe history repeating itself. But John Decker, an attorney, says that he believes that President Trump does have strong legal ground on this. So we'll see what that court has to say, what the courts have to say eventually on this. A reminder, right after the news at 10, we're going to go live to L.A., get the latest on the 6th day of the protests there. If you're just joining us, we had Brookhaven Mayor John Park on earlier. The protests that we saw in Brookhaven, you probably saw a lot of really nasty-looking videos on social media. The mayor told us, though, there was conversations between the city of Brookhaven and the organizers of the protest. They gave them a 3-hour window basically to protest yesterday between 6:30 and 9:30. That's when they asked them to disperse. And according to the mayor of Brookhaven, all those the fireworks being thrown, the 3 police cars being damaged, graffiti, all came from folks not aligned with the original protest, but as John Decker called them, anarchists. They're trying to get in and just make trouble. And trouble was made yesterday. Again, we'll see if the protests will resume tonight in Brookhaven, beloved Brookhaven. Do you know what really hurt me, guys? That area of Buford Highway that was shut down. By the way, Buford Highway is like it's a culinary mecca. It really is. People from around the world come to Atlanta, and then they land at Hartsfield Jackson, and they get in a cab and they go, take me to Buford Highway, because you have every cuisine you could want, and it's all fantastic. I'm assuming, Deborah, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you can get some of the best authentic Mexican food on Buford Highway, right? If you want legit stuff.
Yeah, I tend to go to a lot of the carnicerias, panaderias, the more authentic store to get food so that I can make them at home, because you can't get them at some of the big box stores, so that's where I have to go and shop.
Yeah, but here's, again, earmuffs, Deborah, you're not going to want to hear this. The best Taco Bell in the world is right there on Buford Highway, and the protests were going on. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. No, I'm not saying, Deborah, you would enjoy it, but objectively speaking, I've had Taco Bells in, I don't know, 20 different states. They're
not all the same?
No. Well, most of them are, but not this one on Buford Highway. They take pride in their work. That's why when they brought back the Mexi Melt, I ordered 40 of them from that, because I'm like, oh, they're going to do it. Anyway, the protest was in front of the Buford Highway Taco Bell, the greatest in the world. It should be Michelin rated. That's how good that Taco Bell is.
I'll have to go try it.
It's we'll do it before 6:30, so you can get in there before the protest. Deborah, I'm not saying Taco Bell's good, okay? And certainly not for you. You know, I'm trying to think if there'd be a bastardized version of a bagel, like a Lender's Pizza bagel, and I would turn my nose. I understand, but of all the Taco Bells in the world, the greatest one is right here on Buford Highway, and it was.
Right.
It was.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to go there, but it is an elite Taco Bell. All right, this is a story that caught my attention, Deborah. You know how much I love American prehistory, actually just all human prehistory. There was a discovery recently of an ancient Native American farm. So agriculture was prominent in this Native American tribe.
Yeah, so, we've seen a lot of reports about ancient discoveries from around the globe. We've done a lot of those lately. Well, this one's right here in American soil, and archaeologists uncovered this ancient Native American farm. This is up near the Menominee River by the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So they used these drones, and they were able to discover over 200 acres of this ancient farmland. Now, before, when you think of how big farms are and how much it goes on for agriculture, you think you need a really large community to get it done, but the Menominee tribes were fairly small. So they're wondering how they're able to sustain this, especially winter in the Midwest, particularly upper Michigan. How are they able to do it? They've done all this research on how they were able to turn the soil. They used all this radiocarbon dating, and they're basically thinking this farm is all the way back from like 1000 to 1600 CE, and it lasted about 600 years. Until the Europeans came along and changed everything.
Yeah.
Which is pretty remarkable.
It is remarkable. And even going back further than that, archaeologists and biologists, they're trying to come up with a date of when farming began in human history. It was originally presumed it started in the Fertile Crescent around 5000 BC. Like that's when they went from hunter-gatherers to farming. But now they're pushing that date back. Relatedly, I was on Instagram this morning, and our buddy Jeff Foxworthy posted, "Love the fox." Anyway, I had no idea this was one of his hobbies. Deborah, one of his hobbies is hunting for arrowheads.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
I'm sure you got a lot around here, too.
Oh, yeah. So he said, I'm quoting the real Jeff Foxworthy on Instagram. I love to hunt for arrowheads. There's just something about holding a piece of history that was lost so long ago and found by a redneck digging in the dirt. And then the next picture, he's got like this framed picture of these arrowheads. I don't know if you did that, but when I was in probably grade school, I would do these after-school programs with the Talcott Mountain Science Museum kind of. I don't know what it was. But one of our day trips was to go hunt for arrowheads in Connecticut. Obviously, long Native American history in New England. And we would find them, like, regularly. Like, we'd go out in these paths in these woods, and, like, every kid found an arrowhead. Now that I think about it, maybe they were just, like, seeding them for dumb kids. Like, hey, go throw 40 fake arrowheads out. So
they'd go out there.
That would be
just so you could learn some history.
Yeah, that would be really disappointing. Because as an 8-year-old kid and you find an arrowhead, you're like, holy,
Or were they fairly easy to find? I mean, were they just laid out on the ground? You didn't have to dig for them?
I remember them being pretty easy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but didn't
so
it spark your love for history?
It for sure. Oh, that'd be very disappointing. I still have them. They're probably ones you can get at a tchotchke shop. You know, like, hey, buy 3 arrowheads for $1. Oh, that.
Can we send them to the university and have them radio?
Yeah,
send them to Jeff Foxworthy. He's an expert on arrowheads.
I'm going to send them to UGA.
Yeah, take a picture. Send them to Fox.
I'm going to send them to UGA and be like, can you verify? And they're like, yeah, these were made in 1981 at a factory in Worcester, Massachusetts. Oh, I've held that memory so near and dear, and I just realized, that they probably...
Well, you ruined it for yourself.
I did. Now, another field trip, though, we would go hunting for garnets. You know what a garnet is?
Sure.
It's like a...
Yeah, the stone.
It's a stone.
Oh,
it's a gemstone.
Yeah.
It's not valuable or anything, but those we had to dig them up in the dirt. So those they didn't, but they were not as cool as... Oh, man. Why did I come to that realization?
Did you find a garnet arrowhead?
I did not find a garnet arrowhead. Anyway, I would love to go. Hey, Fox, you're listening. You're a loyal listener. Text me, bro. I'll go hunting for... Obviously, I had great success when I was 8. I found arrowheads every 5 feet. I was like, oh, another arrowhead, another. So I would love to join you on that. All right, when we come back, we're going to bang out our top local stories. A reminder, Deborah saw my sad face yesterday when we didn't have any tickets to give away. We're going to fix that today. 10:37, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Dave Matthews, June 25th at Marist Bank Amphitheater. Very, very cool. Thank you, Deborah. All right, let's go to the only 24-hour traffic center in the land. And the Wednesday updated by Mr. Mike Shields.
And Mark, watching a crash move to the right shoulder in Gwinnett County. That's good news. No lanes blocked, but 85 southbound past Pleasant Hill Road, exit 104. That's slowing you down as you leave Highway 316. Long-standing crash still on the left shoulder in Marietta, 75 southbound past Delk Road, exit 261. This report is brought to you by the 2025 FIFA World Cup. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is coming to Atlanta. Get ready for a global soccer showdown at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Don't just watch history, be there. Get tickets at FIFA.com/tickets. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Change always happening. It's a part of life, friends, and when it comes to music, change is really all around us. Songs rewritten, classics remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. It's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Xfinity. Xfinity introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. 5-year price guarantee. Are you surprised? Don't be. Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report of August 2020 for Xfinity.com/deals.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you've said that income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. But what income streams require the most attention?
Yeah, so if you've got a pension or if you're living off of Social Security, you kind of know those income streams show up in your mailbox. That's mailbox money. It's almost like you're still working, and it doesn't really require that much attention. But most people that come into the office today, they are having to use their 401ks, their IRAs, SEP Simples, 403bs that are invested in the market to generate income. And anytime you're going to use a market-linked asset where you have to go in and decide when you're going to buy and sell to generate your income, it takes a ton more effort, energy, and attention to get that piece of the puzzle right. But it doesn't actually have to be that way.
So, Matt, the number one fear of adults in retirement is outliving their money. How do we get started building income today?
Well, you can get started today. You'd call us for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement roadmap. We want to build a GPS for you that's going to help navigate retirement, and it's going to have a focus on building and preserving income. 770-280-1488. We've got a representative standing by to talk to you right now. 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we are available across the metro Atlanta area to meet with you at a time and place that fits your schedule. Again, 770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com.
The team at Vincent Financial Group want to help preserve your assets while building retirement income that lasts as long as you do. Call today for your complimentary retirement roadmap, 770-280-1488. And you can always get more at retireatlradio.com and join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Summer's here, and so are the backyard parties, barbecues, and pool days. Is your house ready? Wise Guys Pro Wash can help get your home, driveway, and deck back to new in no time. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
The first thing you do when you get up out of bed is hit that
Happy 76th birthday, Frank Beard of ZZ Top. Ironically, Frank Beard was the only member of ZZ Top without one of those long beards, Deborah. I'm sure you knew that.
I did know that.
Highlight of Mark Aram's childhood when MTV premiered the Legs video of ZZ Top.
I can remember. I remember that vividly.
I might have to go on YouTube later on and find that. That was a good video. Anyway, happy birthday to Frank Beard of ZZ Top. Updating a couple of big local stories and international stories. Actually, we talked about when we had the mayor of Brookhaven on, John Park, how much I love eating at the restaurants in Brookhaven. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but restaurant prices are starting to get up, especially in big cities like Boston, New York, Atlanta. Folks have stopped eating out because it's gotten so expensive. CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz says changing where you eat could lower the tab.
Restaurant owners blame higher food costs, rising wages, and a spike in utility costs for the increase in the bill. Chef and owner Mark Sheehan of a restaurant in suburban Boston has managed to keep costs down by sourcing ingredients locally. He says to lower the tab, get out of the city.
I was at a meeting a couple months ago with some people in the restaurant industry in Boston, and they were all listing $50, $60 lobster rolls. I got asked how much ours was last summer, and I was like, $28.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Oh, sad news, by the way. This is not confirmed, but I saw on social media that Cousins, Maine Lobster in Lenox Mall is closing. One of the only places you can get fried whole belly clams in the city. So I'm going to have to, maybe today we'll go there for lunch, man, because I love some good fried clams. But it's in the mall. It's kind of tucked away. I get it. And food costs are going crazy. What I have noticed at restaurants, and I'm not going to name names. I shan't name names, but I'm seeing, never mind shrinkflation at the grocery store, shrinkflation at restaurants. Like the portions are getting smaller. That might be, and that's probably good for my waist, but I'm seeing smaller portions now. Do not see smaller portions at the world's greatest Taco Bell on Buford Highway. Or I went to, Taco Max keep closing down. I went to the one on Cobb Parkway the other day with my buddy Stan Bonnier and his kid, and I got the cheesesteak. Thing was massive. So maybe that's why Taco Max struggling. They haven't shrunk their sizes of their entrees. It was good too. Anyway, shout out to the Taco Mac on Cobb Parkway. All right, news, weather, and traffic in less than 3 minutes. When we come back, we'll update the protests here in Brookhaven, and we're going to go live to the streets of L.A., day 6 of the protests there. We'll check in with a reporter live in downtown L.A. next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 10 o'clock. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our top story, some positive economic news this morning. Prices rose less than expected in May, indicating President Trump's tariffs so far have not had a significant impact on inflation. Numbers out this morning from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show the cost of goods and services was up 0.1% over the previous month, putting the annual rate of inflation at 2.4%. Economists had predicted an increase of 0.2%.
This is a good report when it comes to the cost of living. We know there's been a lot of concerns about what's going to happen to inflation. It's still possible that inflation does tick higher, but at this point, we're not really seeing it in these numbers.
CNN's Mac Egan says lower gas prices are also helping matters. New this morning, President Donald Trump announcing the U.S. will get magnets and rare earth minerals from China under a new trade deal, and tariffs on Chinese goods will be reduced to 55%. In return, Trump says the U.S. will provide China, quote, what was agreed to, and that includes allowing Chinese students to attend American colleges and universities. A rally in Brookhaven goes as planned initially, but after the protest ended, a group of individuals stuck around and began escalating their engagements with police.
We had individuals that we're deeming agitators that continued to stay on scene.
Lieutenant Jay Kissel says they threw rocks and fireworks and damaged 3 police vehicles. 6 people were detained. Meanwhile, a dusk-to-dawn curfew now in effect in downtown Los Angeles, where protests have raged for several days over federal immigration raids. Tom Waite says police immediately took action when the curfew began.
What a change, and just incredible how quickly police moved in here and really just flooded the zone and really wasted no time getting in here and showing their presence.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says the curfew is needed to stop vandalism and looting from the protests. Hundreds have been arrested since they began. Protesters taking their anger out at the head of the Department of Health and Human Services over the firing of CDC workers. The rally outside the agency headquarters here in Atlanta.
CDC employees recite their oath and then take aim at the man who fired thousands of them.
The Secretary of Health
Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has shown himself to be a domestic health threat.
Speakers demanding the firing of RFK Jr. and the rehiring of 2,400 let go.
We will not stand idly by while decades of public service are erased.
This latest rally as Kennedy replaces the entire Vaccine Advisory Committee. At the CDC in Atlanta, Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
The return of the NHL to the metro area could be one step closer to reality today. Forsyth County leaders voting on whether to move ahead with The Gathering, a large-scale development north of Alpharetta that would have lots of dining and entertainment options, along with a state-of-the-art arena. This fan is excited about the possibilities.
It's an opportunity. You want to go see a hockey game? Let's go grab a bite to eat at one of the restaurants, and then we'll walk over across the street to the hockey game.
The multi-billion-dollar project would also include office, retail, and residential space. It is planned for a 100-acre site near Georgia 400 with a link to the Big Creek Greenway. An R&B artist spending decades in prison is calling on President Trump for his release.
R. Kelly's attorneys are asking President Trump to help them get him out of federal custody immediately. They say their client's mail has been stolen in order to pressure witnesses to testify against him, and that authorities hired a white supremacist to kill him.
R. Kelly serving 30 years in prison for his conviction of various sex crimes. Morning fog will be clearing out, resulting in plenty of sunshine this afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 80s. Rain chances will return this weekend. WSB's Christina Edwards has our full forecast coming up, and right now it is 10:03, and it's time for the Mark Arum Show to continue in less than 2 minutes after we have live team coverage of traffic and weather together. Ashley Frasca is live in the 24-hour WSB Traffic Center.
Smiler Mark McKay in for Ashley, and we are watching delays this morning out of Roswell into Sandy Springs, Graham, and I have the Jam Cam Y. Looks like crews are working in the left lane of 400 southbound just past Northridge Road exit 6, so it is quite slow as you work your way out of Alpharetta, starting at Haynesbridge Road. Eased up most of the delays through Marietta. Crash still working on the shoulder, though. I-75 southbound past Delk Road, and out of Gwinnett County and Duluth, I see that slow zone really starting to ease up now. Still a bit slow, though. 316 in spots down to Norcross past Indian Trail Road. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88 with an isolated pop-up storm. Friday, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms, high 86.
Right now, 76 degrees in Sandy Springs, 77 in College Park, and 76 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us this morning. Deborah is the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Two Slices screens your calls. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go live to downtown L.A., day 6 of the protest there. 10:35, political analyst Stephen Lawson is going to join us live. A lot of big local political stories that have been bubbling up. We'll go in-depth with him. 11:35, Kim Commando is going to join us live to talk tech. And Deborah has tickets to give away today. I'm underselling it. Dave Matthews tickets. Like, Dave Matthews fans are rabid, Deborah. I mean,
oh, yes. They follow him around. Yeah.
Getting tattoos and rent a van. And yeah, anyway, Deborah's going to give away a pair of tickets to see Dave Matthews and band, or just Dave Matthews?
The Dave Matthews Band.
Okay,
the whole thing.
It's not just him doing a solo acoustic set.
Nope.
June 25th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Very excited to have those tickets to give away. In case you're just joining us, we've been going in depth on the protests that broke out last night in Brookhaven. Started around 6:30. They were mostly peaceful until the 9:30 end time of the protest. Then outside agitators came in.
Over 500 people were there throughout the event, maybe a couple hundred more. I can't say for certain, but in total, 6 people were
Six
arrested.
people arrested. That is Brookhaven Police Lieutenant Jake Kissel. Again, 6 people were arrested. There was some damage done to 3 Brookhaven police vehicles, but no car fires. What stood out to me on the social media video were protesters. And again, we don't think it was the original protesters, but outside agitators that came in after closing time, throwing actual fireworks at the Brookhaven Police Department. That was crazy. Earlier in the show, Brookhaven Mayor John Park joined us.
They have a right to express their views. We asked them to disperse. We actually gave an order to disperse around 9 and 9:30.
So the mayor told us that he had been in touch with the organizers of the protest prior to the protest, First Amendment rights, et cetera, et cetera. They said 6:30 p.m. start. That's what they gave the protesters. The city said go ahead and disperse between 9 and 9:30. And as we heard from Lieutenant, there were 500 protesters there at least. But then the havoc started to occur after that. And the question is, of the 6 people that were arrested, how many were from Brookhaven, or how many came from the outside just to cause havoc? We're going to try to get some more information from the police department there. But obviously a big story. And I asked the mayor point blank, hey, are we going to see protests again tonight? He said he doesn't know yet. But I think that if I were a betting man, I would say there would be some sort of protest tonight again in Brookhaven, again along the Buford Highway corridor there. Buford Highway Briarwood, I believe, is what the mayor said. So obviously a big local story. 6 people arrested. There was damage. There was some graffiti, but no looting, no cars set on fire, nothing like that. But obviously any protest, as long as it's peaceful, it's fine. But the moment it's not peaceful, that's when the authorities have a right to get in there and put a stop to it. And that's what they did last night. So again, we'll continue to monitor what happened last night in Brookhaven and what is going to happen tonight, perhaps. One more audio cut from the mayor of Brookhaven, John Park, who joined us at the top of the show.
I'm hearing about raids. There has been, generally they let us know they're in the area. We're just trying to keep our community safe. We're engaging with everyone in our community.
There, I asked him about ICE raids in the Brookhaven area, and he has not seen any sweeping raids from ICE there. We'll see if that changes in retaliation. We saw President Trump order the National Guard troops and the Marines into L.A. I don't think we would see the same thing here, especially the limited size of the protest that we saw in Brookhaven. Do have some breaking news here on the U.S.-China trade talks. President Trump said a deal with China is done after 2 days of talks between top officials in London. You remember yesterday on the show, we had Mike McKee from Bloomberg saying he didn't think anything was going to get done because the Treasury Secretary had to come back to the United States. Earlier, the U.S. and China said they'd agreed in principle of a framework for de-escalating trade tensions between the world's 2 biggest economies. CBS News correspondent Ed O'Keefe has details.
Yeah, in a social media post, the president said, "Our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me." This comes after 2 days of talks between U.S. and Chinese officials in London. The president says U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods will be 55%, while Chinese tariffs on American products will be set at 10%. White House aides tell us this morning those levels are what they are for now, but could change again.
That's, all right, a deal, but 55% tariffs on goods imported from China. That's still sizable for all the stuff we get in from China. Only a 10% tariff on American-made goods heading to China. The market's reacting positively. Dow's up 67, Nasdaq's up 41, S&P is up just a smidge. But again, the breaking news there, President Trump says a deal has been reached. All right, continue our team coverage of the protests in L.A., day number 6. Joining us live from CBS News, Nydia Cavazos. Nydia, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
What's it
Happy
like?
to be joining.
What's it like on the streets of LA now? I know it's 7:11 a.m., so probably calm and peaceful, but we had a curfew overnight.
That's correct. The local curfew lifted at 6 a.m., and this was put in place yesterday by the mayor of LA, Mayor Karen Bass, and this was an effort to sort of tone down what we've seen during the past days. We've seen 5 days of civil unrest across the downtown area, as people continue to protest, the deployment of the National Guard, the detention of immigrants during the past raids in LA, and the enforcement activity overall that we continue to see across the city of LA.
From your vantage point, Nydia, are the protests getting larger or are they getting scaled back some?
We've seen a mix. They initially started off as large-scale protests, and that's when we began seeing this unrest, the civil unrest throughout the weekend. What we have seen is that while they have been a bit smaller than what we originally saw during the weekend, they typically begin as peaceful protests, but they do end up escalating. And this is a situation that we're running into where it takes one person within the crowd to launch an object at the officers. This clash ends up happening, tear gas ends up being deployed, and that's when we have the situation aggravate.
I saw, the stunning video earlier in the week. We saw those two autonomous vehicles being set fire. As far as damage done to property or physical exchanges with the police and or National Guard, have we seen that, or has that kind of died down a little bit?
It has died down a bit, and you do have protesters among the crowd shouting peaceful protest whenever they have some sort of interaction or clash with local police department. This is what comes out of the crowd. So you have a lot of the community leaders who are advocating for peaceful protest. You've had the governor, the mayor advocate for peaceful protesting is allowed, but violence will not necessarily be condemned here.
Nidhi, we had a protest here in the Metro Atlanta area yesterday. 6 people were arrested. There was no looting and no fires, but there was some misbehavior. A couple of police cars have been damaged. Do we know how many people have been arrested in L.A. over the course of these protests?
That number would lie in the hundreds. This has been throughout the past days combined. We're still working on getting a definite number in terms of the total number of arrests. We do know that both the DHS and local police department have put out some of the mugshots from those detained, but this is referring to the agitators, a very few people within the crowd that ended up escalating this into a more violent situation here in LA.
We didn't see any looting here, thankfully, in Metro Atlanta. Has there been looting in LA with the protests?
We saw instances of looting yesterday night, or this was Tuesday night, and this is essentially what led to the curfew. So not only were we seeing these protests, but it ended up escalating into, there was also an instance of looting in downtown. But yesterday we were in the downtown area of LA during curfew, and we definitely did see, people did respect this curfew. There were instances of arrest for people not following, cooperating with the curfew, but overall the situation toned down over the night.
So the curfew seems to have worked thus far. And you mentioned this curfew. Did it just impact that small area of downtown LA where the protests have been going, or was this like a countywide curfew?
This only applies to the area within downtown, and it's also important to provide context here because there's a lot of images on social media. People might have the perception that the entire city of LA is in flames, but these protests are really only centered to the downtown portion of LA.
Gotcha. Nidhi Cavazos from CBS joining us live in L.A. here on the Mark Arum Show. Final question for you, Nidhi. Obviously, the big headline nationally has been President Trump calling in the National Guard, the Marines standing by. What in your reporting have you seen? Have you seen National Guard troops? Have you seen Marines yet? What's their role, if any, so far?
We did see the deployment of the National Guard over the weekend, and this essentially has also led to more protesting as people are upset at their presence. But what we were able to confirm yesterday is that the National Guard troops are now assisting in protecting ICE agents while they're out on their enforcement activity during their operations or during their raids, but they are not necessarily conducting the arrest. The fact that we're seeing troops with ICE agents outside of federal building means that this is an expansion of their initial responsibilities that was communicated over the weekend, that they were only there to protect federal buildings in the downtown area. Now, they did clarify, we got confirmation from ICE that troops are not conducting these arrests. They're there to protect federal agents.
Interesting. Curfew ended at 6 a.m. your time. Protests will resume or have resumed when?
We know that there were protests planned for Wednesday afternoon, and so we'll be monitoring those. They typically end up starting in the afternoon, and if the situation tends to escalate, we typically see this in the evenings.
Nydia Cavazos, CBS News, LA. Nydia, great coverage. Thanks for your time, and please stay safe.
Thank you so much.
There you go. All right, so the curfew appeared to have worked in LA. I don't think we're there yet in Metro Atlanta, but we'll monitor what happens in Brookhaven tonight. Again, no protest planned, but I suspect we will see them again tonight. All right, coming up after a quick break, great news for a major crop here in the state of Georgia. Really good news. We'll tell you about that after we check the Wednesday mid-morning drive around town. Bam! Where's the hot spot now, Smiling Mark McKay?
How about construction, Mark, leaving Roswell into Sandy Springs? I see on the Jam Cam crews working in the left lane of Georgia 400 southbound past Northridge Road exit 6. Still pretty thick getting across the Chattahoochee River as you work your way out of Alpharetta and the North Point Mall region. Construction also holding you up on 285 as you roll between Flat Shoals exit 48 and I-20. They're doing work on that collector distributor ramp that takes you out toward Wesley Chapel Road. Inbound delays in that work zone as well, on and off the brakes on I-20 westbound, leaving Panola Road. This report brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits Atlanta Motorsports Park July 10th through 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 North.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is this weekend, June 13th through 15th at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. And while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery, and get a free whiskey gift set with your purchase. It's this weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
June 11th, 1986. I'll do the math for you. 39 years ago, Ferris Bueller's Day Off premiered in theaters across the United States. One of the greatest movies of all time. Vinny Two Slices, Vinny Drip. I hate to put you on the spot. Have you ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
All right, now you're trying me. I feel like you're trying me. I love Ferris Bueller.
Okay, you've seen it. All right,
Yes.
good. I wouldn't have judged, but it's 39 years old, Vin. So
That's true.
Yeah, if I was your age and someone, hey, did you see Gone with the Wind? I would have been like, no, I haven't. So here's my suggestion, Deborah, because I think there's a disconnection in the workplace between Gen Zers, right, and Gen X and Boomers, who typically are their bosses. Like Vinny's boss, Vinny's Gen Z, Vinny's boss is Longoria, is a Gen Xer. I want to come up with a list of 100 movies that Gen Zers should watch to get in good with their Gen X or Boomer bosses. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, please.
Yeah. And maybe, Fred Blankenship and I have been discussing doing a podcast. Maybe that's what we do the podcast on.
Okay.
100 movies that Gen Zers should watch so they don't feel like outcasts when they're with their older coworkers.
Okay.
Well, should we do that?
Yeah, because there's plenty of times I like reference a movie and he's like, I've never seen that.
Exactly.
I'm like,
All right. So after I get back from vacation, we'll work that out.
You and Fred start the list, and then we'll go and fill it in with the rest of the people in the office.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. We just gave myself homework. Love that. I teased before the break, Deborah, great news for Georgia agriculture, specifically pecan farmers, not pecan farmers, pecan farmers.
That's right. Georgia could export more pecans very soon. So right now, when they ship these, they have to be unshelled, right? They have to be cleaned and go through this whole process. But they're trying to change the law that would allow the pecans to be shelled, which it extends the shelf life, and then they can be processed at their destination. So right now, the U.S. exports about 1.3 million in pecans just to India. And if this law changes, that could increase up to 5 million annually.
Wow. Okay. And so unshelled, we ship them with the shells on them instead of having.
No, we take the shells off and clean them and process them and send them that way. But if we change it, we'll be able to keep them in the shells, which means they can stay
Easier.
fresher longer.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right. Pecan. Are we the only country in the world that enjoys pecan pie? That's got to be an American invention, right?
Are they indigenous to North America? They could be.
I'm indigenous to North America. I don't know about pecans. I'm not going to say pecan pie is the greatest pie, but if you get a great piece of pecan pie, it could change your life. It's phenomenal. All right, so good news for the pecan growers here in the state of Georgia. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes, updating the Brookhaven protests last night. When we come back, though, in-depth political coverage. Political analyst Stephen Lawson joins us live in studio. Social media is active today. I turned them off yesterday, but they're back on at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Just a word of wisdom from your friend Mark Arum. A damaged roof doesn't always lead to an entire roof replacement project. As a full-service Atlanta roofing company, my friends at Dr. Roof offer comprehensive roof repairs that will lengthen the lifespan of your existing roof and ensure that it will continue to protect your home as it should. It's storm season. Get peace of mind from my friends at Dr. Roof. They've been in business for over 35 years, and Dr. Roof offers up to a 5-year warranty on roof repairs. Get all the info online at drroof.com.
When you need quality professional tree work, choose Heath Tree Service. Hi, I'm Jimmy Heath. My father started Heath Tree Service over 60 years ago, and we're still family owned. Certified arborists and experts with trees. Find us at heathtreeservice.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Breda knows how critical it is to protect the inside of your home, not just the outside, against bugs and critters. Termites, the most destructive pest of all. They literally eat your house. Hey, it's Mark Arum here for Breda Pest Management. I bet your termite company just walks around outside, checks bait stations, and says, hey, you're termite free. But are you? How can they claim that when they haven't even inspected inside? Only Breda protects your home from termites with a complete liquid barrier system, not just those bait stations. And only Breda's early detection process will thoroughly inspect your entire home with advanced infrared cameras. Wow. Breda is so confident they guarantee your protection and will lock in your termite rate for 10 years. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like termites. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 10:30, I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Our top local story, a Brookhaven rally and show of support for the demonstrators in Los Angeles and elsewhere, goes off as planned, and organizers coordinated their efforts with police.
The mass majority of individuals that were there with good intentions. They just wanted to have their voice heard and exercise their right to assemble.
But Lieutenant Jake Kissel says after the main event ended and people began to leave, some agitators remained.
We deployed our mobile field force to try and get them to disperse. That unit was attacked by aggressors that were throwing rocks and fireworks at them.
They also damaged 3 patrol cars. Lieutenant Kissel says ultimately 6 people were taken into custody. Another day of protests and unrest in downtown Los Angeles. Reporter Tom Waite says police are now enforcing an overnight curfew in the city.
They've got their less than lethal weapons ready to go. They've got batons. They're in riot gear, zip ties, the mounted unit here on the scene.
Hundreds of people have been arrested since the demonstrations against immigration enforcement efforts began last weekend. President Trump announcing on social media this morning a new trade agreement with China.
U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods will be 55%, while Chinese tariffs on American products will be set at 10%. White House aides tell us that those levels are what they are for now, but could change again.
Correspondent Ed O'Keefe says the deal will allow the U.S. to get magnets and rare earth minerals from China. The deal also includes a provision allowing Chinese students to attend American colleges and universities. A DeKalb County police officer is being treated this morning for injuries after slamming a patrol vehicle into the back of a dump truck. Witnesses say it happened during a police chase on Terry Mill Road near Glenwood Avenue. The police vehicle appeared to lose control as it approached a construction site, hitting the back of that truck. No one else was injured. Police say they have not given an update on the officer's condition or said what prompted that chase. After serving time for violating detainees' rights as Clayton County Sheriff, Victor Hill is now eyeing a run for Congress and looking to go up against Nikema Williams in the 5th District.
During his podcast Tuesday evening, he explains it was a conversation behind bars that led him to this decision.
What he said was the reason you were sent here is to see what happens, so that you could go out and fight for us and be our voice.
Hill was released last spring after serving 18 months behind bars. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
The Georgia Court of Appeals rules in favor of property tax refunds for the owner of several restaurants at the Atlanta airport.
Atlanta Restaurant Partners operates several restaurants at the airport, including TGI Fridays locations and Ludacris's Chicken and Beer. The company sued for a refund totaling about $350,000 in property taxes paid to Clayton County and the city of College Park.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti reports the court ruled leases for retail space at the airport give the right to use real estate, not overall ownership. It is 10:33. Live team coverage now of traffic and weather together. Smiling Mark McKay is live in the 24-hour WSB Traffic Center.
All right, Graham, we've been watching construction, and in fact, it seems like Georgia 400 is one big construction zone between Cumming, Alpharetta, and Sandy Springs this morning. Traffic repair says left lane rolling roadblock on 400 southbound approaching McFarland Parkway, exit 12. Getting out of Alpharetta to Roswell is slow due to Sandy Springs construction. Crews in and out of the left lane of 400 southbound just past Northridge Road, exit 6. Rolling into downtown Atlanta, a little slow out of Buckhead on 400 south starting at Sidney Marcus Boulevard. Connector south, let's call it sluggish past Georgia Tech. Northbound 7585 is still a bit crowded, leaving University Avenue, exit 244, clearing John Lewis Freedom Parkway. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, hot and humid, high 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88. Partly cloudy on Friday with a few pop-up showers and storms, high 86.
Right now, 77 degrees in Decatur, 78 degrees in Vinings, and 77 in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It's the only way to do any kind of reform of the federal government.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I don't remember.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Who are you speaking for?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Protests from L.A. to New York to Brookhaven. The political impact of these protests next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume, how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus, the highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus, siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
10:36 on a everly increasing warming Wednesday. I don't know. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 1 hour from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see the Dave Matthews Band June 25th at Marist Bank Amphitheater. And we're going to talk tech with Kim Commando. 30 minutes from now, we're going to talk to the CEO of the Latin American Association about the protests that are now stretching nationwide. I mentioned from L.A., New York, Austin, Texas, and here in Brookhaven. Joining us live in studio, political analyst Stephen Lawson. I'm going to make an assumption that you are a Dave Matthews Band fan. Am I wrong, Stephen?
I am. Yeah, no, and I grew up on DMB, so yeah, some lucky person's going to get some good tickets.
I want to start with the Brookhaven protest last night. Again, we had the Brookhaven Mayor John Park on at the beginning of the show. Going to try to replay some audio there. But the mayor's office was in contact with the group that organized it. They gave them the go-ahead for a 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. protest time, and then they asked them to disperse, but it was some outside agitators at the end that were jumping on the police cars and throwing fireworks. You live in Brookhaven. Did you feel any of the effects or the aftermath of the protests?
I didn't know. Yeah, I live close by there. Certainly saw the clips, and yeah, I mean, look, this is exactly how these things always go, right? There is usually the majority of people are peacefully protesting, and then after 2 or 3 hours, there's these outside agitators. A lot of times, they're paid agitators that are coming in from other cities, from other states, and inciting violence and causing chaos. And it's really a shame, because the Brookhaven Police Department, our law enforcement officers across this state are the best in the country. They do a great job. And so to see that, it's just, look, those folks need to be fully held accountable. I appreciated the mayor's comments. And I think, look, from a state level, I think the governor, the speaker, the lieutenant governor, there's a lot of folks that are going to be watching this very closely and making sure that this does not get out of hand.
Yeah, 6 people arrested last night. We're waiting to hear from Brookhaven Police the addresses of these 6 people. Were they Brookhaven residents? The mayor seemed to doubt that they were Brookhaven residents, that they came in from outside to, drum up some trouble. But as soon as we get that information, we'll pass it along. I don't see a situation where these escalate to the point where President Trump calls in the National Guard and Marines to the state of Georgia.
No, I don't think so either. In Georgia, we are obviously a rule of law state. We have great state leadership. From the governor, again, the speaker, the lieutenant governor, our attorney general, who are very, very focused in on this issue right now. They are not going to tolerate any of this lawlessness, any of this rioting, any of this violence. And again, there's precedent, right? We saw in 2020 what happened. We saw former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is now a candidate for governor, not do enough. She let it get out of control. She let it get out of hand to the point where the governor put his foot down and called in the Georgia Guard and squashed this. So I don't think it's going to get to that level again. But the good news is we have conservative state leaders at the state level who are going to make sure it doesn't.
The difference, I mean, there's many differences between California and Georgia, but obviously California, a blue state, Georgia, a red state. I think we can affirm that after the last couple of election cycles. There's no world in which President Trump wouldn't talk to Governor Kemp first before sending in the troops, right? There would be a conversation that would be had.
Yeah, and again, that's right, Mark, but I just don't see it ever getting to that point because, again...
No, knock on wood.
Yeah. This is a rule of law state, and we take that very seriously. In fact, the General Assembly and the governor have led on a number of issues to crack down on this exact type of thing. They've upped penalties for this type of looting and rioting. Any attacks on law enforcement officers now have a stiffer penalty associated with them. So, if you're somebody in this state being an agitator and inciting violence, you better think twice before you do it.
Political analyst Stephen Lawson live in studio here in the Mark Arum Show. All right, six days now of protests in L.A. That is now a political issue, right? Both the governor of California, Newsom, and President Trump using what's going on now to advance their political agendas. Obviously, President Trump sees the polling on immigration. He says sees that's a strong situation for him. So there is a political element there, and obviously Gavin Newsom is taking advantage of the spotlight now to further his political career. Are there any winners in this battle?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think a lot of the losers are the American people, the hardworking, tax-paying American people, who don't want to see these types of illegal immigrants coming in, taking up resources, causing chaos, inciting violence. But at the same time, they also don't want to see, have to see all of this violence and it continuing, and to all of these things to be escalated. So yeah, look, I think both sides are using it to their political advantage. I think what's interesting is that you saw the president act very quickly, very decisively on this issue. I think some of that is he got burned last time in 2020, and we saw all of the national violence across the country. And I think he got caught a little flat-footed last time. I think this time he was going to make sure that was not the case. And so I think he reacted a little bit differently. But certainly, look, the governor of the state of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, had the opportunity to nip this in the bud. They had the opportunity to squash this, and they really didn't. And what you're seeing is, all of these quote-unquote peaceful protests have now devolved into looting, to arson, to fire, to violence, and that is playing right into President Trump's hands.
There's no reason for any of what you just said. The looting, the fire, the arson, the graffiti. I mean, that's where the peaceful protest stops. And I think everyone can agree that once it escalates, then all bets are off. Now, it's tough to predict the future, but looking ahead to 2026, I'm hoping that the protests won't continue to 2026. But this could be a campaign issue for sure. And do you think it'll be a campaign issue here in Georgia? Bringing it all back to local politics, we had a big name, a famous last name, decide to enter the fray. What can you tell us about Dooley?
Yeah. So Derek Dooley, obviously the son of famed UGA head football coach Vince Dooley. His name late last week was floated potentially as a consensus candidate for the U.S. Senate seat. We've not gotten any direct confirmation or comment from the governor about Derek Dooley. We know that they are family friends. We know that they have a history being from Athens, as the governor is. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. There's pros and cons to his potential candidacy. One is that, he's a blank slate. Could be a good, strong, generic Republican to run against Jon Ossoff. The other is that we don't know anything about him, right?
Yeah.
He's this big unknown. He coached at Tennessee, right, and was fired there from that job. So some questions. I'm not sure if he currently lives in the state. So lots of questions on both sides. It's going to be really interesting to pay attention to this, to see how it unfolds, if that is ultimately the governor's.
So no confirmation from Derek Dooley himself. That it's just a rumor that's being floated that he might run for the U.S.
That's right. Yeah, he's basically said that it's something he's looking at, and that he would have an announcement in the next couple of weeks, one way or another.
I can't think of a better last name though to run for office statewide in Georgia than that Dooley last name. I mean, that carries some weight.
It does, certainly. Again, there are pros and cons to both, right? Obviously, you have a historic family name, a name that's very revered, particularly by Georgia football fans. But again, it also, there's certainly questions. We ran a football player last cycle that didn't really end up that great.
Yeah.
And certainly, again, not sure, where he stands on key issues and some of those things. So I think, again, pros and cons. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Political analyst Stephen Lawson joining us live in studio at the Mark Arum Show. Dentons.com, by the way, Stephen's website for all things politics. All right, back to the 2026 run-up. I'm assuming that immigration will be a big point on both sides of the primaries, right? We'll see the Democrats take one angle to it, the Republican candidates take another angle to it. Is that going to be issue number one? Will it be the economy? I don't want you to, predict the future, but what do you see being the big issues when it comes to primary season?
Yeah, look, I think immigration's still going to be top of mind. I think particularly given these violent protests that we've seen in California and started to sprout up across the country, I think that's a losing issue for Democrats, right? But if Republicans somehow overplay their hand, right, if there are these sort of mass deportations of people who should not be being deported, right, then that is a potential opening for Democrats. But right now, I think Republicans are firmly on the right side of that issue. You mentioned the economy. Really good news today there from President Trump saying that U.S.-China deal is almost there on the finish line, pending President Xi's approval. That's a really good sign, Mark, because you and I have talked about how big that one is. Again, if the president and the Republicans can get some of these trade deals done, can get this big, beautiful bill through, two big ifs, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape heading into the midterms.
Yeah, I saw from Capitol Hill correspondent, our buddy Jamie Dupree. I don't know if this has changed since yesterday, but he posted that they have not yet walked the bill over from the House of Representatives to the Senate. So I don't know what the delay is there, if they're still hammering things behind the scenes, but obviously that's going to be a big story. I'm so sad I'm going to miss it next week when I'm on vacation. And you're on vacation next week.
That's right.
So hopefully the bill will get passed while we're on vacation.
That'd be great.
We don't have to deal with all that. All right, so Stephen, great job as always. Thanks so much for your time. Dentons.com. And Deborah, Stephen, he is eligible, right, to win the tickets to see Dave Matthews Band.
Absolutely.
All
He's
right.
just got to be the right caller.
Yeah, so 10:37. Be listening, Stephen. I know you listen all the time.
On it.
All right, there you go. When we come back after a quick break, we are still seeing some tariff implications. Is it the end of everyone's favorite free shipping when you buy an item? Could free shipping be going away? But first, checking the Wednesday morning commute around town, live with the latest. Smiling Mark McKay.
A little rugged out of Roswell, Mark, due to construction up ahead in Sandy Springs, 400 southbound on the brakes as you approach Holcomb Ridge Road, Mansell Road. Trying to work your way down past the Chattahoochee River, and crews been working in and out of that left lane of 400 southbound past Northridge Road, exit 6. The delays into downtown Atlanta still in place. Connector northbound leaving University Avenue, exit 244, up past John Lewis Freedom Parkway. Let's call it sluggish on the connector southbound past Georgia Tech, and heading to the south side, bunching up on I-75 in Stockbridge, leaving Highway 138 down to exit 224. That is Hudson Bridge, Eagles Landing Parkway. Smaller Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Thursday starting at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, Clark Howard on how to handle your grown kids if they move back home. And Scott Slate's Georgia this week, keeping a delish tradish alive in Georgia on WSB.
How can your termite company claim your home's termite-free by only walking around the outside? Mark Aram for Breda Pest Management. Termites, the most destructive pest of all. They literally eat your home. Only Breda will come inside and thoroughly inspect your entire home with infrared cameras, and Breda guarantees your termite protection and will lock in your rate for 10 years. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Motorcycle riders know that a distracted driver can knock you down. It's nice to know that Steel Horse Law can pick you back up. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. In the worst possible scenario, when someone causes you to lay your bike down, Steel Horse Law will get you the best possible settlement. Their name strikes fear in the heart of big insurance companies because Steel Horse Law is respected and will make them pay. Visit steelhorselaw.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom?
Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
You need a real vacation, one where you can truly disconnect and be present. I'm Richard with Lux and Rome Travel. I take the stress out of planning so you can focus on relaxing, enjoying, and making memories that last a lifetime. From European family adventures to luxury cruises, we design trips tailored just for you. Be present on your dream vacation with Lux and Rome. Book today at luxrome.com. That's LUXEROAM.com. That's luxrome.com.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
10:54 on this Wednesday edition of the Mark Aram Show. Coming up after the news at 11, we're going to be joined by the CEO of the Latin American Association discussing the protests, the now nationwide protests. 11:35, Kim Komando is going to join us live talking tech. And as I mentioned earlier, Deborah's giving away tickets to see Dave Matthews, June 25th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Tease this story before the break, Deborah. It's so funny. If you go online shopping and you'll see 2 items that are similarly priced, but one that is free shipping, even with the free shipping, if it's people will gravitate toward free shipping, right? Absolutely. You're like, oh, free shipping, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Tariffs might be ending the free shipping bandwagon we've been riding for so long.
Yeah, if you love to shop online, which I pretty much buy everything online,
yes.
You've probably seen free shipping a lot. But some retailers are trying to pull back on that now because of all of these tariff costs. So some are increasing your minimum purchase. Like a lot of places it would be $50. Now it's going up to almost $100. Some companies that never charged for shipping before, it was always part of their cost, they're having to add it. Others are making you sign up for loyalty programs like, oh, if you get our newsletter regularly, then we'll give you free shipping. And others are just adding more to the shipping cost. Like if it always used to be a flat fee, they're having to double that sometimes.
Interesting. Now, I've learned this little hack when I sell baseball cards on eBay that I have more successful sales when I say free shipping.
And you just roll it into the cost?
Yeah. I mean, shipping normally, if you sell a baseball card, it's usually like $5, right? In a bubble mailer, it's usually costs $5. So it'll say, all right, the card's $29.99 plus $5 in shipping. But if I just say, hey, it's $35 free shipping, they'll often, I think we're just wired that way. We see the word free and we're like, oh, yeah, let's get it. I'm not complaining because I get a ton of packages, mostly baseball cards sent to the house. But Maya, like Amazon, like you, Deborah, she buys everything online. Mm-hmm. And we got another package yesterday, and I was like, Amazon's here, Maya. And she's like, it's an adapter for us to go to Japan so you could plug your cell phone in. Because, I was like, I wasn't being critical, but she was like, she put the hammer down. Like, I bought something for you, Jackwagon, was basically what she was saying. Maybe a cooling of the feud between President Trump and Elon Musk a week after their social media feud. Musk says he regrets some of his criticisms of President Trump. CBS correspondent Michael Wallace updates.
Musk and Trump traded insults and accusations for hours last Thursday after Musk blasted Trump's big spending bill as an abomination. Early this morning, Musk posted on his social media platform X, quote, I regret some of my posts about President Trump last week. They went too far, end quote. Trump has said he has no desire to repair his relationship with Musk, has threatened to cut Musk's government contracts, and has warned Musk could face, in his words, serious consequences if he tries to help Democrats in upcoming elections. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Yeah, so I was dubbing it Battle of the Titans, Clash of the Titans. But Musk seems to be backing off really quickly. When he sees his net worth drop $150 billion when he picked a fight with the he's like, I regret some of my social media posts. Anyway, actually, Elon Musk's father spoke out on the feud. We'll tell you about that next hour. News, weather, and traffic in 2 minutes. When we come back, the CEO of the Latin American Association, his take on the protest here in Brookhaven. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
SAP America Incorporated seeks business process principal consultant at our Alpharetta, Georgia location to drive business consulting by translating the customer's vision into solutions. Map business processes to solution requirements. Champion and lead disruptive business innovation. Provide thought leadership around the transformation towards the intelligent enterprise. Telecommuting permitted. 50% domestic and international travel required to various and unanticipated client sites. Base salary is between $129,147 and $206,640. Health insurance, 401k, and other benefits located at sapnorthamericabenefits.com. Total compensation of base salary plus incentives is between $151,900 and $258,300. Apply at jobssap.com. Use requisition ID 424855.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G Network. Our top local story, are you looking to buy or sell a house anytime soon? Atlanta's housing market is shifting toward more balance as we head toward the second half of the year. Georgia MLS spokesman John Ryan says after all the frenzy during the post-pandemic years, it is becoming more of a buyer's market and sellers need to take note.
Overpricing your house right now, I think you're going to see that it may be sitting on the market a little bit longer than what we have seen as well.
He says 52% of transactions in the first half of the year included seller concessions. The median sales price in Metro Atlanta was $411,000, and that is down $4,000 from this time last year. The morning fog has given way to lots of sunshine, and that will continue this afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Rain chances do return for the weekend, though. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. New numbers out this morning from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows inflation ticked higher in May, but the Consumer Price Index was more stable than expected.
So the big number is the annual rate that came in at 2.4%. That is a slight acceleration from 2.3% in April, but this was better than expected. Month over month, prices were up by just 0.1%.
Analyst Matt Egan says a drop in gas prices partly offset the early effects of President Trump's wide-ranging tariffs. A new initiative is hoping to get more churches to turn to the sun for power.
Dunwoody United Methodist Church is the latest congregation to install solar panels as a way to power their facilities. Jay Horton with Interfaith Power and Light tells me some 30 congregations are now using the renewable source thanks to their program.
Not only does solar help congregations reduce their carbon footprint, but it also decreases their utility costs and allows them to invest more funds back into mission and ministry priorities of their community.
Cost savings can vary. Dunwoody is estimated to save more than $14,000 each year. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Forsyth County could take a major step today towards bringing NHL hockey back to Metro Atlanta. Officials are set to vote on a final approval for The Gathering, a large-scale mixed-use development with a range of amenities, all anchored by an 18,000-seat arena that is designed for hockey and much more.
All the things that you would see in an elite arena, concerts, family shows. There'll be room for graduation so the students of Forsyth County don't have to go elsewhere.
Project manager Frank Ferrara and his team have the zoning and other agreements in place. They're awaiting the green light from county commissioners, school board members, and development authority leaders. Happening today, President Trump's fight to erase his criminal hush money conviction heads to a federal appeals court.
Trump is asking the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to intervene after a lower court judge twice rejected the move. If the case is transferred to federal court, Trump could then seek to have the verdict thrown out on presidential immunity grounds.
Julie Walker reports state prosecutors say the hush money payments were a private matter, so they are not covered by immunity. Trump was convicted in July on 34 counts of falsifying business records, but has denied any wrongdoing. Nintendo's new Switch 2 game console smashing a series of sales records after just 4 days on the market. The Japanese gaming company says the system has sold more than 3.5 million units, making it Nintendo's fastest-selling game system of all time. It is 11:03. The Mark Arum Show continues in less than 2 minutes. But first, we have live team coverage of traffic and weather together. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Graham. Picked up a new crash up into downtown, 7585 northbound, just north of Highway 166, Langford Parkway. Knocks out that second left lane, so causing delays coming up from the airport. Traffic Trooper Mike tells us about a crash on the 75 north ramp in Clayton County, the Forest Park region, ramping to 285 westbound. We're going to try to get eyes on that. And they've been doing that left lane construction in Sandy Springs, 400 southbound passing Northridge Road, exit 6. That's why you're seeing the brake lights out of Roswell leaving Mansell Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid today, high 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 88 with an isolated pop-up storm. Friday, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms, high 86.
Right now we have 77 degrees in Stockbridge, 79 in Alpharetta, and 77 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
11:05 on another extremely busy news day Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Dave Matthews Band, June 25th at Marist Bank Amphitheater. I'm going to talk tech with Kim Commando. We're going to revisit our earlier interview from the show with Brookhaven Mayor John Park. Got him on early this morning at the top of the show, reacting to the immigration protests last night in Brookhaven.
Immigrant rights! Donald Trump, let's be clear!
Most of the protesters were there with good intentions. There were a couple of bad actors toward the end of it. The Brookhaven mayor believed they were not part of the organized protest. 6 people were arrested in total. So he's been monitoring the immigration protests in L.A. They are now here in Metro Atlanta in Brookhaven. Continue our team coverage of the protest. Joining us live, CEO of the Latin American Association, Santiago Marquez. Santiago, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark. How are you? Thank you for having me.
My crack research team lets me know that you are very familiar with the Metro Atlanta area, right? You've spent some time here, graduated from Georgia State University. So knowing the area, your reaction to the protests we saw last night in Brookhaven?
Sure, and actually a graduate of Cross Keys High School as well.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. So, like any American on a personal level, I mean, the right to a peaceful protest and organized protest is something that I feel strongly about. If that's what you want to do it the right way. It's just too bad that, again, to your point, that there's some bad apples that come in and kind of ruin that peaceful protest for people, right? And so from my personal perspective, I have nothing against anybody who can organize and protest peacefully. I think that this country has seen that and seen the changes that can come from that. But then again, when it turns violent and when you start, going after police, that's a different story.
Do you know the organizations that are organizing these peaceful protests? The mayor said that they were in contact with this group. And if so, do you offer guidance to any groups that want to peacefully protest?
No, and so I do want to be clear. The Latin American Association is a social service, direct service provider. So we ourselves do not protest or organize protest or marches. For us, it's very important to continue the focus on the work and continue to serve people every day. I don't know these groups, but I do know the mayor and I know the city of Brookhaven. Obviously, we're in Brookhaven, so we work with them a lot, and I trust the mayor and I trust the city. But no, we don't, and we don't help organize protests.
Interesting. So let's talk about the services you do offer and what kind of increase in requests for services or decreases have you seen in the last couple of months?
Yeah, so we offer services in 3 areas. We help people with stability, right? So food insecurity, we have food pantries. We've seen an increase in the need for food, a decrease in people coming. I think there's some people that are afraid to venture out, but a lot of phone calls asking for food and then rental assistance. We've been working very closely with DeKalb County for people that have fallen behind on their rent over the last 5 years because of COVID. And so we're ending a program now where we've given out about $2 million for rental assistance. We also have immigration attorneys. We've seen a huge increase in calls and demand for immigration services, as well as empowerment services. So we teach people how to start a business and how to grow their business, right? Our whole focus here is to help stabilize families and get them to the point where they're self-sufficient and participating in that American dream.
I talked to an immigration attorney yesterday out of Austin, Texas, and was discussing one of her clients that came to the States illegally, but married a U.S. citizen. They've had 5 children that are all U.S. citizens, and there's the paperwork's in the pipeline for citizenship, but the concern is that that person might be targeted for deportation. Are you seeing similar situations when you go out to these communities that, yes, the person's here illegally, but they are in the process of trying to get legal citizenship or married a U.S. citizen or had a baby that is a U.S. citizen? Is that a pretty typical request?
Yes, there's a lot of that, and it's complicated. So what we see, we tend to see a lot of mixed status. We call them mixed status families, where there'll be one, maybe the parents are undocumented or one of the parents are undocumented. The kids are American citizens. And the family petitions, families are petitioning for that person to come. It takes a long time. Paperwork takes a long time. The courts are backed up. The immigration system is backed up and has been backlogged for years, right? So all of that takes a while. And yes, we are seeing fears and concerns from people that are in the pipeline that are trying to expedite their paperwork, fears that they'll be asked to leave before they can get that paperwork resolved.
Santiago Marquez, CEO of the Latin American Association, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Part of my responsibilities here as a talk show host at WSB Radio is I'm often asked to go to schools to talk, career days or talk to students that want to get into the communication business. And a lot of the schools that I go to are in DeKalb County, are in Gwinnett County, where they have very diverse populations. And we've been seeing the protests. And one of the biggest critiques, I think, of folks critical of the protests is, why are these people out there protesting yet waving Mexican flags, right? If you want to, why the Mexican flags? And I mean, I don't want to talk about that criticism, but what, in my personal experience, when I've been going to schools the last couple of years, the young children in elementary school, they're not from Mexico. They're from Venezuela. They're from Central America. It's almost the majority, and again, just anecdotally from what I'm seeing in classrooms, that a majority of the recent immigrants are not from Mexico. Are you seeing similar numbers?
Over the last couple of years, we did see a lot of new arrivals that were coming from Venezuela, and yes, Central America, even Cuba. And I think part of that was that we saw a lot of asylum seekers, people that were coming on the run from dictatorships, communist dictatorships like Cuba and Venezuela, and coming seeking asylum, stating a case that if they went back or their lives were in danger in their country. So yes, definitely over the last couple of years, that's tapered off now, obviously, but there's a huge growth from Venezuela, Cuba, and yes, definitely Central America. You're right. You're dead on. Though I do think the majority of the Latino community in Georgia still is predominantly Mexican, maybe 62% roughly. But to your point, the younger immigration patterns were coming from the Caribbean and from Central and South America.
All right, so it's not just me. That it is actually, yeah. All right.
I think you're right on. Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Interesting. Yeah. And you are from Cuba.
I was born in Cuba. Yeah, I left when I was a year old, and I became an American citizen when I was 8. And I still say that was the best day of my life. I really didn't understand all of the implications of it, but I knew my life had changed forever. And I'm a proud American, proud Cuban American. Have you ever been back? No, I wanted to go back with my father, but then he got sick. He got Alzheimer's, and we just decided not to. And so now at this point, I don't know. I'd still want to go and see where I was born, but most of my family's either here or passed away.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're heading up the Latin American Association. Folks want to know more about your services from the association. Where can we find you?
Absolutely. Please go to our website, LatinAmericanAssociation.org, LAA.org. Or the building on Buford Highway, North Druid Hills. I think it's a pretty iconic building. Drop in and say hello, but always looking for volunteers and support.
Oh, that's where you are, in that building?
Yes.
Oh.
Right. Everybody knows the building. Right?
Yeah.
So,
we need to grab lunch at some time, Santiago.
And I know exactly where to go.
So,
yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for all you're doing out there.
Well, and thank you. Parents are huge fans of yours. They listen to you all the time.
Excellent. I'm big with the parents. I'm big with the parents. Thanks so much, Santiago.
Thank you.
Take
care.
There you go. All right. Santiago Marquez, CEO of the Latin American Association, here on the Mark Arum Show, as we continue our in-depth coverage of the protests that broke out last night in Brookhaven. If we have time, Longoria, in case you missed it at the beginning of the show, we had on Brookhaven Mayor John Park. Can I play a little bit of that interview here? All right, in case you missed it.
Good morning, and thank you for calling us beloved.
I absolutely love, well, I'm a food guy, so there's many reasons why I love Brookhaven. Let's just talk about what happened yesterday from your vantage point. When did the protests start, and when did things get out of hand?
Well, I wouldn't say it really got out of hand. It started at around 6:30. Our community engagement officers were in touch with the leaders of the protests, and they have a right to express their views, and but while following the law. We asked them to disperse. We actually gave an order to disperse around 9 and 9:30, and the protest organizers advised our police that that they asked people to leave, and the people that kind of stayed behind were not affiliated with their protest. They were just opportunists, and agitators that I guess just wanted to make trouble.
Interesting. So there was actually communication with the protest organizers between them and the city beforehand. You gave them that window, the 3-hour-ish window to extend their First Amendment rights and protest. And then it was after that 9:30 ending of the sanctioned protest where we start to see some of the I don't want to say get out of hand. Maybe that was too far, but started to see some trouble.
Yeah, and this is a common ploy by some of these individuals. They want to make noise, they want to cause damage, they want to escalate the situation, and our police officers are very disciplined and well trained, as well as the neighboring jurisdictions that assisted, and we handled it. There were some arrests, some property damage. No one was really injured, and it was taken care of.
Mayor, for those that didn't follow this, I mean, it was the videos were popping up on social media. Right at the start of the protest, I was following it there. Where in Brookhaven did this protest occur?
So basically, a block from our public safety building, over at Briarwood and Buford Highway at Northeast Plaza, which is kind of the epicenter of our international corridor, where there are a lot of great restaurants and great diversity and just a lot of energy in that area. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons they chose that location.
Is it typical? I don't know how many organized protests you've had as your term of Brookhaven mayor, but is it typical? Is there a license? Do protesters have to get permission? What's the process for that?
Well, to basically go beyond just normal First Amendment rights, we'd like to just basically, set up, how do I say this, guardrails. So our communications, our community engagement officers were on scene, live there on scene, and just, in constant communication with the people there and the organizers, and basically said, hey, look, if you are, we absolutely support your right to be heard and protest, but at the same time, we can't have you, inciting violence or, blocking the road or just largely anything that's not orderly. And so that's kind of how we go.
And as part of those guardrails, don't block traffic, right? Don't get in to stay on the sidewalks or stay on property that wouldn't be obstructive to motorists.
Right. And really just, hey, be heard, show your numbers, say what you want to say. We'll hear you. We'll support that. But, our number one priority in Brookhaven is public safety and keeping people safe and maintaining, a certain level, maintaining civilization, really. And so that's what we focus on.
That was Brookhaven Mayor John Park earlier on the show. If you want to listen to the full interview, Longoria will post it on the podcast right after we get off the air at noon. All right, coming up next, a massive, and I mean massive, fentanyl seizure here in the state of Georgia. We'll give you the details on that. But first, got some better news heading into downtown Atlanta. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
That is right, Mark. Thanks to our hero units, they got a crash that was in the second left lane, held all lanes, got it to the right shoulder. Everything back open leaving the airport. 7585 northbound Langford Parkway, Highway 166, exit 243. Still some southbound delays left over out of Midtown as you make the trek into downtown. In DeKalb County, 2 work zones in the same spot. You got left lane construction on the I-20 eastbound collector distributor ramp between 285 and Wesley Chapel, and then they're in the right lane of the I-20 eastbound through lanes, and still slow out of Roswell into Sandy Springs with a left lane construction 400 southbound past Northridge. Traffic brought to you by Peach Pass and the new Peach Pass Go mobile app. The Peach Pass Go mobile app helps you get there faster with new and improved features. Add more and more coming soon. Download the new Peach Pass Go mobile app today at peachpass.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You know the best part about hot weather is walking into a cool, comfortable house, right? Dave Baker here for Cool Ray Heating and Cooling. Summer is here. Don't let HVAC problems ruin your fun. Cool Ray is offering up to $2,250 in rebates and free installation with the purchase of a complete home carrier system. Ready to stay cool this summer? Visit coolray.com to book your appointment today and keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Cool Ray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hey, it's Mark Aaron for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment. Now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. They're well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is this weekend, June 13th through 15th at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. And while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery, and get a free whiskey gift set with your purchase. It's this weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
Happy 56th birthday, Tyrion Lannister. Peter Dinklage turns 56 years old today. That's a guest I want to talk to, Deborah. Peter Dinklage. Love him. I just rewatched Game of Thrones for the, 9th time. Phenomenal actor, Mr. Peter Dinklage. Happy birthday. All right, before the break, I told you a massive fentanyl seizure here in the state of Georgia. These numbers, Deborah, jaw-dropping. How much drugs were confiscated by the authorities?
Yeah, the DEA in Atlanta just made their biggest fentanyl bust ever in state's history. They seized hundreds of thousands of pills containing fentanyl, other drugs and guns too. These all allegedly belong to Bartholomew Keaton Harrelson. They confiscated 97 kilograms of fentanyl, which doesn't sound like a lot, right? 97 kilograms.
No, that's a lot.
But that is enough to kill 48 million people.
Wow.
So that is a lot of fentanyl.
97 kilograms. That's 267 pounds. I did the math for you. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a lot. But it wasn't just fentanyl that was confiscated.
No, they also found a ton of guns and a lot of ammo, so he's charged with possession with the intent to distribute fentanyl, meth, cocaine, heroin, marijuana, possessions of firearms to further drug trafficking, and possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
I'm going to say that is the largest bust in human history by someone named Bartholomew. Not usually the name you expect. Were there any fireworks that were confiscated in the bust?
Doesn't say in this report.
Okay. Independence Day, a little over 3 weeks off. The nation's fireworks vendors preparing to open their roadside stands in an era of international trade disputes. Even that American tradition likely to be altered.
Whether it's a tiny backyard celebration or a professional show for thousands. Nearly all of the fireworks sold in the U.S. come from China. The American Pyrotechnics Association says the current 30% tariff will force its members to raise prices they charge to consumers. That some smaller towns may have to cancel their 4th of July fireworks shows because of the soaring cost. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Well, I don't want fireworks in my neighborhood. I'm so sick of them. The dogs hate them. And if you are buying fireworks, do not throw them at the Brookhaven police, you jackwagons. You're going to be arrested. Don't be a jackwagon in general when it comes to fireworks. All right, news, weather, and traffic 3 minutes away. When we come back, Deborah's got tickets to see the Dave Matthews Band. We're going to talk tech with Kim Commando. Very excited to have her join us live. Social media is active at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
Man's best friend, loyal, trustworthy, dependable. Aw, that's Rufus, the bulldog, the chief barking officer for Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Dave Baker here. For over 30 years, Findlay Roofing's been your roof's best friend. Loyal with a lifetime warranty, trustworthy with upfront pricing, and dependable with the highest quality work. When it comes to your roof, think of Rufus and Findlay first. 0% financing available. FindlayRoofing.com.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. This is Scott Slade for the great people at Ragsdale Heating and Air, where many of their employees have been with the company for 10, 20, even 30 years, and I've used them for a lot of those years. You know, with school getting out, you've got to have good air conditioning. And if you're ready for a new AC system during the month of June, Ragsdale is taking up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system, and you'll get Ragsdale's trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. Ragsdale's a name I know you can trust for all your plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs, too. Go to RagsdaleAir.com or call them. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Looking for the perfect engagement ring? At Shane Company, we know this is an exciting time. It can also be overwhelming. Customers say this a lot. Where do I start? How do I choose? At Shane Company, this is where the magic happens. Since 1929, we've been experts at helping customers find the perfect engagement ring. We invite you into the design process, help you pick out the perfect diamond or colorful gemstone, and choose a style that speaks to you. Come see us in store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
With Orchard, you can buy your new home before selling the old one and get paid twice. Cash up front now, more cash when it sells. Get started at Orchard.com. Get paid twice. Orchard.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
30, I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Rocco's European Garage. Our top story, President Trump says the U.S. has reached a trade deal with China.
Trump posted on social media the U.S. will get magnets and rare earth minerals from China. The U.S. will allow Chinese students to use its colleges and universities. Trump also announced tariffs on Chinese goods will be set at 55%, while China's tariffs on American products will be 10%.
Michael Wallace reports Trump says the deal is subject to final approval of himself and China's president. He also says the U.S. relationship with China is excellent. General Motors pumping $4 billion into its U.S. operations. The automaker moving production of the Chevrolet Equinox and Blazer from Mexico to Kansas City and Tennessee, respectively.
This seems to be a direct reaction to the tariffs and the Trump administration's push for more production in the U.S.
Sam Fiorani is with Auto Forecast Solutions. GM also changing a Detroit area plant from EV production to building pickups and utilities.
Jeff Gilbert reports this new investment will allow GM to assemble more than 2 million vehicles per year in the United States. Grady Hospital officials say no patients were injured and no hospital operations were interrupted when a pipe dislodged at the seam and sent water cascading down a stairwell last night. In a statement, Grady administrators say they are working to assess and repair the impacted area. A planned protest in Brookhaven is largely peaceful until the official event ends and many people begin to leave. That is when a few individuals remained and chose to start throwing rocks and fireworks at police.
At that point in time, tear gas was deployed, and ultimately 3 Brookhaven police cars were damaged by demonstrators that were kind of escalating the situation.
Lieutenant Jake Kissel says it's disappointing because it changes the narrative and detracts from the intended message.
It begins to diminish the value when you start having property damage, attempts against law enforcement to hurt them, rocks being thrown, the mortar-style fireworks.
6 people were arrested before police were able to get the crowd to disperse. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, they have now imposed a curfew that's expected to last several days after 6 nights of protest, some of those turning violent, leading to hundreds of arrests. Mayor Karen Bass says the dawn till dusk curfew is needed to stop vandalism and looting. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gives more details on who will replace the CDC vaccine panel members he has dismissed. Kennedy says he'll choose qualified doctors and medical experts who are objective and follow the science.
Not anti-vaxxers. We're bringing people on who are credentialed scientists, who are highly credentialed physicians.
Kennedy points to an allegation in a former congressional investigation that 4 former panel members had financial ties to companies that would benefit from the development of the rotavirus vaccine. The 2025 Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce, also known as the Dirty Dozen, has been released by the Environmental Working Group. The list, based on government testing of non-organic produce, highlights fruits and vegetables with the highest levels of pesticide residue. Spinach topping the list, containing more pesticide residue by weight than any other item. Strawberries, kale, mustard greens, and collards followed closely by blackberries, who made their debut, and potatoes, which returned to the list after being absent in recent years. It is now 11:33, and it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather together. Alex Williams is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Graham, watching construction delays out of Roswell into Sandy Springs on 400 southbound. The brake lights find you right around Mansell Road, exit number 8, and it stays slow getting past Northridge Road, exit 6 there in Sandy Springs, where they've been working in the left lane. Also construction in DeKalb County. It's I-20 eastbound. You got 2 different work zones in the same area between 285 and Wesley Chapel Road. Left lane blocked on the 20 eastbound collector distributor ramp coming off of 285. That's why 285 east slows back at Flat Shoals. Then the right lane of the I-20 eastbound through lanes blocked with that road work as well. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, hot and humid, high 87.
We have 80 degrees in Beaufort, 79 in Union City, and 78 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
Still to come, the latest on the protests last night in Brookhaven. But coming up next, Deborah's got Dave Matthews Band tickets, and we'll talk tech with Kim Commando. All of that next on the Mark Arum Show. Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Arum here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof And for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal. Right now, USDA Choice Boneless New York Half Strip Steaks are only $7.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, remember that crack in the concrete by your pool, the one everyone keeps tripping on? It's still there. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can fix that. Just schedule a free inspection at aquaguard.net and a team of experts will stop by to help you out. Remember the name.
AquaGuard. Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Skeeters biting you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on this wonderful day in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Then Eric Erickson, noon to 3 here on the Nifty 750. Going to jump in the deep end of the pool with Kim Komando in just a second. But Deborah, she saw my frowny face on Monday and Tuesday when we had no tickets to give away. So you went and got an amazing set of tickets to give away. Well, right now, what do we have?
Yeah, DMB tickets, Dave Matthews Band, Ameris Bank Amphitheater, June 25th, a pair of tickets.
Vinny, you done doing that side work for Longoria? Can you, yeah, maybe? All right. 19th caller, Vin. 19th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see the Dave Matthews Band, June 25th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Joining us live on the Mark Aram Show. You know her, you love her. You're here every weekend on WSB Radio, the legend that is Kim Komando. Kim, good morning, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. How you doing, buddy?
Awesome. So let's talk about AI stocks. Have you ever thought, like, you know, maybe AI could pick stocks better than you, or are you just a tech maven when it comes to that?
No, well, I mean, the stock market in general, I take Clark Howard's advice, index funds. I don't play the market. I'm not smart enough, so I don't even dabble. So I'm assuming AI would be better than I am at picking stocks.
Well, a finance professor tested this theory of the stock-picking skills of ChatGPT, Grok, and Communist China's DeepSeek. And they were all fed the same market conditions and prompts, and they were asked to build a stock portfolio. And then he compared that against what humans did. And as you might have guessed, AI beat the pros, not just once, not just twice, but over several trials, that AI actually outperformed human-managed funds.
Wow. So, I mean, if you're a stockbroker listening, do you have to worry about job security?
You know what? I think everybody has to worry about job security. But before you sit there and go like, hey, this is going to be like the great magic 8 ball, it's not. And also remember that AI makes mistakes. It hallucinates. But there are some prompts that you can try on your favorite AI chatbot. You could just say, act as a financial advisor for whatever your age is. I want to save for retirement, recommend a diversified stock portfolio, make it conservative, aggressive, and then you can actually see what it comes out with. You could also input your current portfolio to your favorite AI chatbot and say, what do you think? Is this great, or does it look like I'm going to be losing?
Wow. I'm still going to, I might do it as an experiment, but I'm not actually going to invest money in a real person or on AI. Kim, if you don't mind me, we had two tech stories yesterday that bubbled up. I want to pick your brain on them. First off, Meta has banned Nudify tools from advertising on their website. I didn't even know that was such a thing, where it's, I guess, AI version. You could post a picture of Mark Arum, and this tool will put me in the buff. Have you heard about this?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They've been around for quite a while. I'm surprised that it took Meta this long, actually, as a public company, to say, hey, we're not going to allow them, especially in the ads. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And it's always a PR push. And anytime that Meta comes out and says, oh, we're going to do this great thing, it's only because they're afraid that they're going to get some ramifications in Washington, that they are not protecting children, they're not protecting people, they're not having good citizenship and corporate citizenship. But these Nudify tools, they are all over, unfortunately.
Goodness
and
gracious.
it used to be that you'd have to go on the dark web to get it, but not anymore. They're just readily available, and that's one of the downsides of AI. Although,
Deborah said they can be complementary, the
Exactly.
Nudify tools. I guess
You
I'm just thankful the Meta algorithms haven't been showing me these ads for the Nudify tool. So now that, of course, I've brought it up in the air, it's going to be popping up everywhere.
Oh, it does. It's been brought up on my show and in my life, and as I said, if you're going to use them, just make me hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, you can't be any hotter, Kim. We know. We know. The other one was another AI story. There was a Musk deepfake going on, trying to scam investors out of Bitcoin, and one so much that one of the people that fell victim to this had an actual FaceTime call with who they thought was the real Elon Musk. That's scary.
Well, that goes with AI just exponentially getting better and better and better over time. I mean, it used to be where you could actually tell, oh yeah, that's a deep fake. There's no doubt with what I can see in, because the eyes are not following, the lips are not really synced in with what they're talking. But now, because there's so much video and audio available with Elon Musk, and that the AI is really able to take that and duplicate it. So it's really hard, and I always find it ironic that Sam Altman, the guy who really brought us ChatGPT and OpenAI, that his side business that he's firing up right now is an orb. And the orb is something that's going to be attached to your phone or attached to your device, whatever it may be. And it's where you're going to really authenticate when you are doing things via something digital, maybe it's a phone or whatever, is that it will authenticate that you're actually a human by looking at your eyes.
Oh, wow. The orb.
So, but isn't that kind of crazy? Like the guy who brought us.
Yeah.
This is like, okay, just want to let you know my new business coming up is to make sure that you're a human.
That's interesting. Kim Komando joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Kim, Friday morning, I'm flying from Atlanta to Tokyo. What happens on that plane if I don't turn on the airplane mode?
Oh, well, number one, make sure that you drink a lot of water and have things just in case. Because I will tell you, I don't know what airline you're going on, but last time I went to Tokyo, the Wi-Fi was horrible, and that is a very, very long flight. But
Yeah,
Tokyo is
Delta Airlines, by the way. Our hometown airline.
Well, yeah, Delta's fine. I mean, if you're going to die, you're going to go through Delta Airlines in Atlanta. I mean, it's just the way it is. But no, maybe it's going to be better than I went on Japan Airlines, but I love Japan. I try to go at least once a year. But if you don't turn on Wi-Fi, the plane is not going to crash. Okay, the emergency slide is not going to come down. But really, what the airlines are concerned with is that in older planes, circa 2005 or older, that it can confuse itself with the pilot's communications, and so they may hear some static if everybody has their airplane mode on. But it goes beyond the paint job, because a lot of planes, even though they're older, the fuselage is okay, but they have upgraded all the electronics. So it's hard to say. So rather than saying, okay, well, because of the age of this plane and the age of electronics, leaving airplane mode off or on doesn't really matter. Just leave Wi-Fi, whatever. Is that they just kind of put this rule out there. But you're better off just turning on airplane mode, because otherwise your plane is going to try to connect to every cell phone tower within the last 5 minutes that you passed over.
Oh, that's
and
annoying.
so it's just going to blow through your battery.
I'll be a good citizen and turn on airplane mode. I'm going to be out of the country Father's Day, but I've taken care of a gift from my dad. You have any gift ideas for the pops out there?
Well, this is kind of a different one. I received an email. The guy's name was Mark, too, by the way. He said that his dad passed away, and he saved his voicemails, and he wanted to recreate his voice so his two young kids could hear his father read them their favorite bedtime story.
Oh.
And so I thought about this. I'm like, you can do this basically. And if you need the steps, it's going to be in my newsletter this Sunday. Is that you open up all the voicemails and then you save them. And then there are some tools that will help you recreate that voice. And then once you recreate the voice, you just type in the text that you want it to read, and then it will read it in that voice. And it used to be that the voices would sound very robotic, and it didn't have the tone and the inflection. Well, now, like with companies like Wondercraft and 11 Labs and some others, is that you can go in there and say, I want this paragraph to sound like this, or make this sound really happy, or my dad used to tell this joke, so can you recreate his laugh? And so I know it's kind of a different idea, but if you're in the same situation and if you are looking for the steps on how to do this, again, just sign up for my free newsletter. It has a 5 out of 5 star rating over Trustpilot, by the way. Just want to give myself a little plug. And then you can sign up over at getkim.com.
GetKim.com. I love that idea. That's a fantastic idea. I love it. GetKim.com for the newsletter. Kim, thanks as always for your insight, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks, my friend.
You bet. Safe travels. Make sure you go to Nara.
Oh, done? Oh, where I fed the deer. I did that already.
Oh, you did that already? Okay,
yeah,
well, good. Well,
that was
then you know where you're going.
Exactly.
All right, well,
exactly.
Go have some fun.
Thanks, Kim. Kim Commando. Always a pleasure to talk with Kim. Hey, congrats to Clark in Stockbridge. He won a pair of tickets to see Dave Matthews June 25th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Deborah, are we going to have more tickets to give away mañana?
We will.
Excellent. All right. So unless you're Clark from Stockbridge, you'll get a chance to win more DMB tickets tomorrow. Coming up, a new ingredient that I did not expect to see in beer. We'll tell you about that. But first, getting close to that noon, lunch hour, rush hour. How are we doing on the roads right now, Alex Williams?
Hey, still seeing the brake lights out of Roswell into Sandy Springs with that left lane construction in Sandy Springs, 400 southbound right at Northridge, or just below Northridge, exit number 6. Just found new trouble on the Jam Cam in DeKalb County. I-20 eastbound, Candler Road, exit 65. Looks like a crash knocking out the right lane. Once you get past that, you got the double work zone. I-20 eastbound in DeKalb County. Right lane blocked at the through lanes before Wesley Chapel. In the left lane of that collector distributor ramp that takes you from I-285 to I-20 eastbound there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic
No
hits,
traffic getting through in either direction.
the Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Look, I know what's important to you when you're having some additions done to your house. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. That's why I love Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. They've been building decks for over 60 years. Every project comes with a dedicated project manager and is properly built with future county and city code requirements in mind. Plus, Ben Hill Renovations offers many options, different styles, types of wood, color, and finishes. They can also build screened-in porches, outdoor living areas, multi-story wraparounds, pretty much anything you can imagine Ben Hill Renovations can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Set up a design consultation or swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
You need a real vacation, one where you can truly disconnect and be present. I'm Richard with Lux and Rome Travel. I take the stress out of planning so you can focus on relaxing, enjoying, and making memories that last a lifetime. From European family adventures to luxury cruises, we design trips tailored just for you. Be present on your dream vacation with Lux and Rome. Book today at luxrome.com. That's LuxeRoam.com. That's luxrome.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shelley Winter here. Man, I'm telling you, I don't want to use a CPAP machine. You know why? Because I can't roll over and kiss AMAC the lawyer in the middle of the night. I know there is an alternative, and it comes from PalmettoSleep.com. They have oral appliance therapy. It's a great alternative to that bulky CPAP. You don't like that. Imagine holding your breath for 30 to 40 seconds. Go ahead. I'll wait. Yeah, no problem. You don't have to spend a night in a sleep lab. None of that happens with Palmetto Sleep. They can arrange for an in-home sleep test from the comfort of your own bed. And it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Go to PalmettoSleep.com. They have made the process super duper simple with virtual appointments and take-home sleep tests if needed. They handle absolutely everything. So if you've already been diagnosed, go to PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Guys, I want to tell you about a real solution to hair loss from my good friends at Advanced Hair. It's Mark Aram here. What makes them different, you might ask? Well, they combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. And this isn't a pill or a lotion subscription that helps you retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Gone today, growing back tomorrow. Quick, simple one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. And listen, it takes just one visit, but first you're going to need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. Great deal. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
As his vice president for 8 years, I learned more from Ronald Reagan than from anyone I encountered in all my years of public life.
21 years ago today, you heard that on WSB Radio, the elder President Bush bidding farewell to our 40th President Ronald Reagan. President Bush gave that emotional plea during his eulogy. Again, that was 21 years ago today, the funeral for Ronald Reagan. You heard it here on WSB Radio. Deborah, I'm not a big beer guy. I'm certainly not a beer snob. I do enjoy a cold frosty one. I can't keep up with the beer industry, though. All of a sudden, non-alcoholic beer is wide selling. But this one I really don't get. Beer manufacturers are now adding what to brews?
Yeah, millennials are the ones that really love those craft beers. There's a new one on the market, and it's all about quinoa beer. So this comes from a Massachusetts brewer, and it's the first kind that use seeds rather than grain to make the beer. And they're saying it's because beer can be kind of bloaty and heavy, and this way, making it out of a seed is going to be a little less. You're going to feel that. But the woman who created this, who studied at Harvard and MIT, so she's very smart.
Sure.
Her whole thought was, I'm going to make like a nutrient-rich, organic, gluten-free, and it's going to be good for celiac drinkers and people that can't have gluten in their diet. So that was kind of her thinking behind it. But most people just see quinoa beer and there's kind of a pushback against it.
Interesting. Best of luck to the PhD quinoa beer. Speaking of beer and Gen Zers, Longoria, why do you think bartenders are not happy with Gen Zers? Why wouldn't bartenders like Gen Zers?
Because they don't tip.
Well, that I'm sure is seen. But no, apparently, like if you and I go to the bar, we'll throw the credit card down. Like, you want to keep the tab open? And you go, yeah, keep the tab.
Yeah.
Gen Zers, apparently, they want to close it up after every drink they get.
Really?
Yeah, like, can I get a gin and tonic or whatever?
I only do that if I'm only going to have one drink. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going to have a little drink and then we're bailing or something like that. But if I'm going to stay at that establishment,
exactly,
I'm leaving it open.
But apparently Gen Zers, it's probably more fiscally responsible.
It is. I'm sure
I know
it is.
Clark Howard, when I go drinking with him, Clark doesn't leave his card at the.
And then you got friends that'll be like, hey, put it on.
Throw it on Clark Howard's tab. Yeah, but interesting that bartenders don't like Gen Zers because they want to pay with their credit card after every drink. Very interesting stuff.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National German Chocolate Cake Day, and it's actually an American invention, not a German one. It was named after Samuel German, a chocolate maker, not the country, and the cake was first published in the Dallas Morning News in 1957.
Love a good German chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Really? The dude's name was German?
Yeah, Samuel German.
Is that
has nothing to do with Germany?
So, like, the sandwich is named after the Earl of Sandwich? Is that
maybe?
Yeah. The empanada is named after Frank Empanada?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, maybe not.
All right, German chocolate cake. That's a good cake. It's got to be moist, though. Got to be a moist cake. All right, good job, Longoria. Let's get some stars to the show and get out of here.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
Great stuff. Extended interview with Brookhaven Mayor John Park. He joined us live at the top of the show. Fantastic stuff from him. Nidia Cavazos from CBS News joined us live in L.A. on the protests there. Political analyst Stephen Lawson was in studio. We talked to Santiago Marquez, the CEO of the Latin American Association. He gets a star of the show, as does Kim Commando. And the Core Four, everyone brought it today. Vinny, good job with some audio. Deborah, always a stalwart member of the team. And even Longoria. Even Longoria brought it. We had a good show today, guys. Am I forgetting anyone? White House correspondent John Decker and Peter Haralambous in New York City covering the trial. I think that was it. Great show, guys. Great show. I've got you. Oh, Veronica Waters gets a star of the show just for popping in at the end. Look. All right, Purnell. I will continue the conversation on social media at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Tomorrow on the show, the very latest, we'll see if the protests bubble up again in Brookhaven. And actress, comedian Lisa Ann Walter joins us on the broadcast tomorrow. In the meantime, in between time, stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.
To a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. Now be with him. I know you will. Oh, that midnight train to Georgia. Get it on that midnight train.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
You've got kids. You need to really be clear with them, age appropriate, what's going on financially. And your kids are hearing stuff. They're hearing about friends of theirs, parents are getting laid off or whatever. Kids talk, and your kid internalizes that, and it creates worry in them. The more you share, the better it is for them to understand and maybe be part of reducing expenses in your house.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. When you have plumbing problems, you need it done quickly and on your schedule. Superior Plumbing will work around your schedule night and day. They've served Atlanta for almost 40 years. They want to be your plumber for life, and they'll earn your trust by doing the work correctly the first time. So do what I did and call Superior Plumbing night or day to have a trusted plumber fix your plumbing issues.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-4222.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. WSB's top stories, some positive economic news. Prices rose less than expected in May, indicating President Trump's tariffs so far have not had a significant impact on inflation. Numbers out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show the cost of goods and services was up 0.1% over the previous month, putting the annual rate of inflation at 2.4%. Economists had predicted an increase of 0.2%.
This is a good report when it comes to the cost of living. We know there's been a lot of concerns about what's going to happen to inflation. It's still possible that inflation does tick higher, but at this point, we're not really seeing it in these numbers.
And CNN's Matt Egan says lower gas prices are helping matters. Plenty of sunshine this afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 80s, but rain chances will return for the weekend. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecasts coming up. President Donald Trump says the U.S. will get magnets and rare earth minerals from China under a new trade deal, and tariffs on Chinese goods will be reduced to 55%. In return, Trump says the U.S. will provide China, quote, what was agreed to. That includes allowing Chinese students to attend American colleges and universities. All new at noon, we are hearing from Brookhaven's mayor after 6 people were arrested following a peaceful protest last night that soon shifted to a more violent encounter when the official event was over. And he says those responsible came from outside the city.
While 3 police cars were smashed and some protesters hurled fireworks at officers, Mayor John Parks says police and protest organizers tell him the 6 people arrested are not from Brookhaven.
There were people that came from the outside to style disorder and to
here and showing their presence.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says the curfew is needed to stop vandalism and looting. Hundreds have been arrested.